Trump has Iran panicking out of their minds in an honestly unbelievable turn of events. Virginia seemingly just stole an election. The SPLC, which is a Democrat socialist movement, has been caught funding far-right violence, basically as a gigantic psyop to try to get Democrats to be like, oh, look at the right wing, they're so violent. And it looks like so much of that was funded by leftoids. Honestly, just a terrible day for people that hate our country, and yes, that does include the average leftist in America. Leftist senators caught rooting for Iran. Literally a general caught leaking information to Iran. We have so much to talk about. Lock in, boys and girls. Here's the deep dive on all the things, covering them in the way they need to be covered. Because I'm not gay. Donald Trump made the following tweet, all right? Massive development because the ceasefire sort of ended. Statement of President Donald J. Trump. Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Hashim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we've been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. President Donald J. Trump. Now, enemies of America say that this is Trump folding because, Trump said if you're not going to make peace, we're going to obliterate every power plant and bridge in the entire country. But ultimately, Trump very much does not want to kill lots of people if he could get away with basically causing them to kneel and kiss the ring. Now, the interesting thing is, the major reason why it seems like this has been pushed off by another 2 to 5 days, as you'll see very soon, is simply because, well, there's no leader in Iran right now. The military and the actual politicians are fighting against each other for power within the very Islamic regime that exists because the terrorists want to keep doing terror and some of the less hardened terrorists don't want to die. So ultimately, you have a mini civil war going on within the Islamic Republic in Iran right now, and they can't get their act together to put a deal. So Trump said, you know what? I'll give you another 2 to 5 days. You put together something. If not, we obliterate every power plant and bridge in your country. That will suck for you a lot. I'll be honest, I don't know every single detail of the deal that Trump is expecting to get out of it. No one knows, except for Trump, literally, and the actual ambassadors and stuff. So I can't make some sort of educated decision in regards to my opinion. I obviously wait for the chips to fall, and then ultimately let you know my opinion, whether it's good or not. I'm not like these knee-jerking dipshits that feel the need to immediately have opinions about literally everything before anything is known. Like Tucker Carlson saying, oh, we went to war in Venezuela. Thousands of Americans will die. Yeah, I don't do that. Tucker and I don't have a lot in common. I don't get dicked down by Muslims. Now, before we get too deep into the chaos, 3,000 years ago, it was promised to me that I would be able to introduce you to Outskill. Outskill is an AI-focused education platform designed to help you apply AI in your work. And it's already impacted over 10 million people across 100 plus countries. And the best part, it's completely free. So you can explore, learn, and see real value. Outskill's 2-day live AI mastermind is happening this weekend, 16 hours from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. EST on Saturday and Sunday, designed for a global audience with a well-suited time. It condenses the experience of 100 plus practitioners from companies like NVIDIA and Microsoft who've witnessed and built through the AI boom. Their main focus is to make you AI independent, to understand exhaustion gaps in AI space, and keep you up to date to increase your earning potential through just implementing AI. In just 16 hours, here is what you will master: building AI agents that plan, execute, and report for you, automating workflow that runs even while you sleep, connecting tools like Sheets, Notions, etc. to create profitable systems, using AI to save hours every week and get an unfair advantage at work. You will also go back with free bonuses worth $5,000 approximately, which includes an amazing AI prompt Bible, a personalized AI toolkit builder, and even a roadmap to gain profit through AI that will top your AI learning experiences with them. Also, right now, just by registering, you will get access to their exclusive AI survival hackbook, which itself will keep you informed of all the major AI shifts happening around. They have a great 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot and an impressed array of learners. Just click that link in the description or scan the QR code and stay updated by joining their WhatsApp community before the big blast. 'Tis the ultimate leering center. Now back to the chaos. Now, lots of incredible things are happening. Iran's decision not to meet with the U.S. on Wednesday is final, Iranian media reports, because, well, they had nothing to say. They're completely and utterly fractured. Justin, Vice President J.D. Vance, calls off trip to Pakistan following Iran's decision not to participate in negotiations. All right. After the ceasefire was prolonged by these 2 to 3 days, Iran immediately violated the ceasefire and started bombing random ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
3 cargo ships have been reported been hit by Iranian gunfires in those small little fast boats.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. Imagine Iran, this terrifying nation, super strong, one of the most dangerous people in the entire region, all right? Iran, they've killed thousands of Americans, tens of thousands of their own people. Ships are going through the Strait of Hormuz, which they supposedly have control of, and they're shooting it with pistols. This has got to be the saddest shit in the universe. Like, imagine thinking you're a world power and you're trying to stop cargo ships with pistols.
In the Strait of Hormuz, and it happened this morning.
Meanwhile, President Trump has extended his ceasefire deadline, citing a fractured regime. And Matt Finn is live in Islamabad, Pakistan, with the latest for us. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Ainsley. There is supposed to be a ceasefire, but we are getting these reports of 3 separate ships attacked in the Strait of Hormuz this morning.
You mean terrorists are committing acts of terror? That's crazy.
The 3rd cargo ship, the most recent, reportedly has been attacked while attempting to transit the strait. It may have a Panama flag on it. And earlier, the British military reported one of its ships was attacked as well. We don't have the confirmed attacker, but...
You know what England is going to do about this? Fucking nothing.
You know, Iran is suspected here.
3 cargo ships have been reported.
Yeah, so that's pretty insane stuff, all in all. Now, the crazy update, IRGC warns of cutting underwater cables connecting Gulf states to the internet. Bro, these guys are, like, actually fucking insane, bro. Like they're not doing any of this shit, bro. They're shooting cargo ships with pistols, okay? Breaking, U.S. State Department warns American citizens to leave Iran immediately. So tensions are kind of high, and the White House says that Trump extends the ceasefire for 3 to 5 days. My stance is, if they're not willing to honor it and they're not willing to come together and propose something, we obliterate the shit out of them. I don't believe in this weak pussy shit of you put a deadline and then they violate the deadline and then you put a new deadline and they violate it again. All right, this is the 3rd time we're going to be having ceasefire talks. If they're not willing to engage, I say we obliterate the shit out of them. Now, the craziest part about this is some people are arguing that this is actually working in cahoots with the Democrats, because pushing it off 3 to 5 days basically lets the Democrats try to do another one of these war powers votes to actually stop the Iran conflict congressionally, which is absolutely insane to even think about, but it's not surprising at all, knowing that the Democrats have been leaking shit to Iran the entire time. Allegedly. Now, from Trump's perspective, there's a very different game going on, because a lot of people are calling this a moment of weakness and stuff. And I, you know, the propaganda is good. I'm sure a couple of retards think that they're making really good points. But unfortunately, I actually have the correct opinion on all of this. And you're going to see what it is. The U.S. officials say in Iran is in a complete split between negotiators and military, neither side able to reach the supreme leader. Gay Ayatollah is fucking gone. All right, the regime is in shambles. The terrorists want to keep killing and are willing to die so they can go to heaven and have sex with children there, which is basically their version of heaven. And you know, the other people that don't really want to die so much are losing their mind. It's honestly pretty entertaining stuff. Now, this is the actual strategy on Trump's behalf. All right, he doesn't mind extending the ceasefire because as it stands right now, the amount of damage being done to Iran just by the ceasefire going on under this blockade is monumental. Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed. They want it open so they can make $500 million a day, which is therefore what they are losing if it is closed. They only say they want it closed because I have totally blockaded closed, so they merely want to save face. People approached me 4 days ago saying, "Sir, Iran wants to open the strait immediately. But if we do that, there will never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of their country, their leaders included." Oh my God. All right, so that's a truth nuke right there. And that is where we stand, right? So breaking preliminary visually unverified data implies that an Iranian flag tanker laden with 2 million barrels has now been redirected back to Iran from the Arabian Sea. All right, I don't think people realize how important the U.S. Navy blockade really is. This is detrimental to the entire Islamic regime, and that is true. Trump made another post. Iran is collapsing financially. They want the Strait of Hormuz open immediately, starving for cash, losing $500 million a day, military and police complaining they are not getting paid. SOS. Oh my God. It's just diabolical, right? And my favorite thing is the cope. It's people coping, being like, yeah, Iran is actually winning this war, as they literally die financially. They're financially dead. Their regime is in shambles. They can't even get a coherent like negotiation ready. See, if Iran actually wanted to negotiate, they would do it now. Waiting 3 to 5 days is actually unbelievably bad for Iran. Waiting 3 to 5 days means another $2 billion gets flushed down the toilet when their economy is already in absolute shambles. All right, people don't understand the Trump strategy because the ceasefire is more effective than bombing them. All right, which people just completely don't understand, and it's hilarious. Just in, Iran fires shots at ships in the Strait of Hormuz, you know, just like, hey guys, it's me, I have a pistol, you tried to cross the Strait of Hormuz. So this is the interesting part. At least 26 Iranian shadow fleet vessels bypassed the U.S. blockade. This is an article from literally fucking no one. This is a lie. Not one single ship from Iran exited or entered the strait. You're a liar. All right, so the truth lie. Yeah, so the funniest part about this is, like, you have literally retard third world dumb fucks out here posting articles making it seem official that Iran is, like, bypassing the blockade and surviving, and basically the blockade doesn't affect Iran at all. They totally love the fact that they're losing $500 million a day. 26 Iranian shadow fleet vessels bypass. Yeah, none of this happened. It doesn't matter if you're a shadow fleet, you're not able to sneak past the blockade. The Strait of Hormuz isn't that big. All right, everyone would have picked up on that. It's one of the most monitored areas on the planet right now. So this is a lie. But here's the reason why I'm showing this to you, because, you know, there's so much Iranian propaganda and so many lies that they keep pushing. You know, this shouldn't be novel unless you have Chris Murphy, a U.S. senator from Connecticut, saying, awesome. Holy shit, dude. We have U.S. senators rooting for the Iranian shadow fleet to bypass our blockade. This is, in my opinion, treason. And this is absolutely shocking to nobody, because the Democrats hate America. And yes, they are allying up with Iran because Iran killing Americans and actually winning a war is beneficial for the Democrats to win elections and consolidate power. And that's the only thing that matters to these absolute dipshits. All right, we have U.S. senators rooting for Iran in this conflict against our country. And Trump acknowledged that. Never allow the traitor Democrats like low IQ person Hakeem Jeffries or crying Chuck Schumer or the totally corrupt fake news media such as the phony and decaying Wall Street Journal and failing New York Times subscriptions way down, or dying 60 minutes to demean or criticize Operation Midnight Hammer, which totally obliterated the nuclear dust locations to the point where the bloodthirsty Iran had been unable to get to it or dig it out. Space Force has cameras in every inch of the 3 sites that were brilliantly hit last June. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And we literally have the Democrats and the media actually pushing slopaganda on behalf of terrorist, rapist, pedophile goat fuckers. Now, here's a pretty crazy twist. This one guy made a tweet. Breaking. The Islamic Republic is preparing to hang 8 women. Not a word from the international community or so-called human rights organizations. Right? Every leftist that's freaking out and crying about, rape hoaxes in Palestine. Right? All these motherfuckers had absolutely nothing to say about the fact that the Islamic regime is executing women in public. Raping, gang raping, and then executing women in public for either dancing in public or showing their hair in public or protesting in public. The UN is silent. All right, all your Chank Jungers who make believe they care about women's liberties and shit. None of these people actually care about anything. None of these feminoids that run around protesting all day, you know, covering themselves in fake blood for their gay protests. None of these people care about the fact that Iran is executing these 8 women. And Donald Trump actually reposted this tweet because he saw a random tweet. To the Iranian leaders who will assume negotiators with my representatives, I would greatly appreciate the release of these women. I'm sure that they will respect the fact that you did so. Please do them no harm. Would be a great start to our negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And very good news, I have just been informed that the 8 women protesters who were going to be executed tonight in Iran will no longer be killed. Unbelievable. 4 will be released immediately, and 4 will be sentenced to 1 month in prison. I very much appreciate that Iran and its leaders respected my request as President of the United States and terminated the planned execution. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and 0 leftoids or feminists will ever acknowledge this. But honestly, no one fucking cares, because those people have been bloodsuckers forever, and they're just showing their true colors now. All right, I don't actually want the UN Women's Rights March or the libtard shitlib cretins to actually come out here and congratulate Donald Trump, because you see, the thing is, leftists are psychopaths that believe in nothing, have 0 ethics, and I don't actually consider any of the things that they actually proclaim that they fight for to be things that they actually care about. They use words to trick you and to consolidate power. They don't use words because they believe in what they say. Every leftist that says, you're not a good Christian because it says love thy neighbor and you want to deport this Nigerian rapist. You believe in freedom of speech and you want to jail this super nice guy, Mahmoud Khalil, who advocates for terrorism? Okay, dude. They will use your values against you because they have none. All right, and this just shows it again and again. And honestly, he saved these 8 women's lives. This one tweet saved 8 women because Donald Trump saw it, made a tweet, and Iran capitulated. And if that doesn't prove that Iran is absolutely terrified of getting on Trump's bad side, I don't know what does. Of course, you have Sneeko, retard, Islamist, dipshit, anti-American, dumbfuck. We were lied to and told Indonesia and Malaysia are third world countries they are to make us feel comfortable with the 30% of our income funding pointless forever wars. Okay, first of all, it's not even close to 30% of our income. We spend probably 5 times more on Social Security than on the military. That's one. 2, I don't know what pointless forever wars we're talking about right now. We're not in the middle of any pointless wars or forever wars. And 3, what the fuck does propaganda about Indonesia or Malaysia have anything to do with anything? No correlation. Again, we're dealing with like the absolute retards. The implication that forever wars depend on Americans viewing Indonesia and Malaysia as third world countries is beyond hilarious. Dude, we are dealing with the lowest IQ motherfuckers of all time. It's incredible. Now, senior UAE official Raim al-Hashimi rips Iran to shreds.
Chosen to go down this path because we are everything that they're not. We're a model of economic prosperity.
Yeah, the UAE is doing great.
We have 200 nationalities that live there.
And all they needed to do was decide, hey, we should actually work on our country instead of focus our entire game plan on death to America, death to Israel.
We have religions and cultures from all around the world. We used our oil wealth to build an economic powerhouse.
You mean if Iran would have, instead of deciding to spend billions of dollars every year funding Islamic terror organizations, instead of that, they would have actually worked on actually building a decent fucking country, they wouldn't literally be getting obliterated right now? Holy shit! Sounds like they brought this on themselves or something. That's crazy.
We used their wealth for nuclear programs that are nefarious, for missiles, drones, proxies, etc. So, whereas we tried to become and have become an international, global, responsible player, they are a pariah state.
That's right.
And they wanted to break that model, but they...
Yeah, so remember when dipshit called me out yesterday, in my video yesterday, called me out, we're literally making enemies with the United Arab Emirates over this war. Yeah, the United Arab Emirates is absolutely on our side completely here. Now, to just show you, like, the absolute shit tier slopaganda that we're dealing with. All right, so this is Carrie Prijan Boyle. I don't know who this is. Some retard who's on Tucker Carlson's show sometimes. Israel is the enemy of the world. Evil people. All right. What do we got? What do we got? All right, so here's a video of a dead girl. Israel shot a little girl in front of her brother when she was collecting water. Heartbreaking stuff. Community note, photo shown in this video originally taken in 2020 in Yemen. It depicts an 8-year-old shot by a Houthi. This is fucking crazy, man. Because, like, all these people support the Houthis. The Houthis are the most moral army of all time. Hassan Piker out there jerking off, thinking of the Houthis. All right, so it's honestly sad shit. It really is. Right? Israel shot a little girl. 130,000 likes. 130,000 likes. And it's tragically a girl that was killed 6 years ago by Houthis. Right? If it was a genocide in 4K, you'd think they'd have like a little bit of footage. You know what I'm saying? Like Israel, it didn't shut off the internet there. Like Iran shut off the internet for their people while they massacred them in silence. There was internet in Gaza the entire time. Why are all the evidence like Houthis killing children in Yemen from 6 years ago, man? All right. Meanwhile, to just tie up loose ends, Israel did refund and create this. They replaced this statue of Jesus that was destroyed by the IDF in Lebanon. So that's pretty nice. Anyway, this is a PR stunt. Will the IDF allow the rebuilding of churches and crosses they destroyed in Gaza? Anyway, the real question will be, will Hamas allow that? Because if you actually look at the population in Gaza, the Muslim population since 1948 only increased. Wow, but I thought they were getting genocided. Now, suspiciously, the Christian population and the Jewish population disappeared, but the Muslim population increased. That's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of people might not know this, but before the pretendicide in Gaza, there were less people than there are now. the births in Gaza outweighed and outnumbered the deaths in Gaza. All right, the amount of propaganda coming from retard land is crazy. And now, just to understand what we're going up against with Iran, over the past 47 years, the Iran regime killed more Muslims than Israel in its 78 years of existence. All right, the truth hurts, man, but like, we're literally dealing with absolute dipshits. Now, James O'Keefe is an undercover journalist, and he just uncovered probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's 14 minutes long, but just like to get a
You might
taste.
kill the next guy, the son. If he does the same way as did everything films, we're gonna shoot missiles and destroy some stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to like win, if you want to like make the country do what you want, you have to put people there.
I was hearing something that we killed kids in the car. Did we actually?
I think there's been some collateral damage, yeah, for sure.
So look how insane this is. Here we have Andrew Hugg, the branch chief of nuclear and chemical surety in the U.S. Department of the Army, actually just leaking info. If he, Mojtaba Khamenei, doesn't change his ways, they're going to kill him. I mean, we all knew that, to be fair. The easiest way to get intelligence, send a pretty girl. Talk to the guy. I have to resist your eyes. Your eyes have mesmerized me so much, almost like your intelligence. Lamau. And then he leaked fucking everything, it seems, right? Oh, you're not a spy, right? Bro fucking says, thinking with his penis, and divulges secret information. So we have so much bullshit going on, and this person was immediately fired for this, because obviously. Yeah, obviously. Now, Tucker Carlson, who says that Trump is evil, and he's so sorry for voting for Trump because he would way rather have Democrats stacking the Supreme Court and importing infinite third worlders than Donald Trump, who closed the border and obliterated our enemies. He's so sad about this because obviously his allegiance is not with the United States anymore. They shredded him on CNN. CNN is more pro-Trump than Tucker Carlson right now. I don't even know what's happening.
People it was not intentional. That's all I'll say.
I'm sorry for misleading people. And Scott Jennings, when he was talking there to his brother, the former GOP Trump speechwriter, Buckley Carlson, what do you say to that?
I mean, is his preference that Kamala Harris had become the president of the United States? That will come as a surprise to, I'm sure, a lot of people who used to view Tucker Carlson as a conservative and someone who, you know, had certain kinds of values. And what's he sorry for? That we got into an engagement here that might ultimately lead to taking away nuclear weapons?
We got into an engagement, Scott. That is quite a way to put it.
From Iran? I mean,
we started a war.
I mean, is he now claiming he had no idea that Donald Trump held the position that he would never permit Iran to have nuclear weapons? If that's what he's saying today, he's kind of a moron. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Or he's willfully.
I mean, I don't think he's a moron. I think he's a liar.
Misleading people.
I think Candace Owens is retarded. I think Tucker Carlson is a foreign asset.
The president was clear. He'll never let them have nuclear weapons. We just saw on 60 Minutes on Sunday night a broad agreement among the experts.
That's
they
right.
have 970 pounds of enriched uranium, enough to make 10 or 11 nuclear bombs. This is not acceptable to the president. He had that position back in 2024. He had that position back in the first term. He has that position today. To say now that you're sorry that you elected a president that wanted to take away nuclear weapons from this terrorist regime, I don't get it.
True. I get it. I think he's a foreign operative. Now, to understand, and I think he's trying to tear our country to shreds. You know, I think he's, whatever. We can get into all my conspiracies another time, but I think it's been pretty proven at this point. All right, so here we have CNN being like, how could you be sorry for voting for Trump? You wanted Kamala Harris? That's fucking crazy. Now, one of the wildest polls I've ever seen. Popular conservative podcasters rated by favorability, showing some Republicans. All right, so Megyn Kelly is plus 18, 40 approve, 22 don't approve. Ben Shapiro, 38, 21. Tucker Carlson, 39 to 33. Holy shit, that is really bad. And Candace Owens, 27 to 30. She is negative in conservative circles right now. So, you know, do not let the PSYOP abuse you, okay? Don't fall for this slop. Tucker Carlson, like giving a full rim job to Sharia law is not popular amongst conservatives. Now, my nuclear take is I don't like any of these guys. My nuclear take is that all of these guys, all right, it's getting controversial here. Megyn Kelly was promoting trans kids a couple years ago, all right? So if I could just give them one word, Megyn Kelly, grifter. Ben Shapiro, doesn't put America first. Tucker Carlson, in bed with Islam. And Candace Owens, complete fucking retard. All right, so like, I mean, the reality is this is a little bit crazy to watch. I'm not gonna lie. And this is breaking news from just now at the time of recording. Security alert at the White House. Secret Service moves press into briefing room. All right, so shit is happening. Something big is going down, and Donald Trump is a man that I think knows very, very well what he's doing and how to play this game. He's proven it again and again and again when it comes to the markets, when it comes to the tariffs, when it comes to Iran. I think it is not unlikely that Trump decides to bomb them and completely blindside them. All right, because this is the type of shit Trump does. Trump says 2 weeks, and then 2.5 weeks pass, and Trump says nothing, and then all of a sudden they lose their entire military. So, you know, I'll be real here. Bro likes winning wars a lot, and he doesn't care about, like, oh, a leftist will get mad at him. Okay, you know what? Win-win. So if you actually want proper coverage on this situation, you should be watching this guy, the blue retard. I do all the things. I'm not actually bought off by foreign agencies or whatever. I present evidence for the things I say instead of just spouting off random shit without showing you anything to prove myself correct, like all these other dipshits. And I say that as a dipshit myself. Killing terrorists is fucking awesome, actually, and don't let them psyop you into thinking that it's not. Now, a lot of these right-wing people, these conservatives that care about our country, that have recently suspiciously backstabbed Donald Trump, you know, in a seemingly coordinating fashion. Well, I have to say, a lot of it seemed very, very organized, actually. You know, we have all these leftist organized protests, and we seem to have a lot of right-wing organized infighting. So I wonder what's going on here. Well, anyway, FBI Director Kash Patel today made a pretty insane announcement. This evening, Todd Blanche and I are announcing an 11-count indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC. Charges in this is basically leftist, Democrat, communist get together of morons and idiots that basically promote every single radical left-wing value of all time. All right, that George Soros funded, as I'll prove to you later in this video. Charges include wire fraud, false statements to federally insured bank, and conspiracy to commit concealment money laundering. The SPLC allegedly engaged in a massive fraud operation to deceive their donors, enrich themselves, and hide their deceptive operations from the public. They lied to the donors, vowing to dismantle violent extremist groups, and actually turned around and paid the leaders of the very extremist groups. They were funding the racists to then raise money to take down racists, even utilizing the funds to have these groups facilitate the commission of the state and federal crime. That is illegal, and it is an ongoing investigation against all individuals involved. This, for the record, is a deep state takedown. The thing that, like, a lot of people were saying, Trump is going to drain the swamp. This is draining the swamp. All right, Todd Blanche, he became the active attorney general, and in 1 week, this absolute juggernaut did more than what what's-her-face did in a whole year. On Pam Bondi in a whole year. This is crazy. All right, so you've got to hear this statement. It is mind-boggling. This basically confirms every single right-wing conspiracy theory that, like, all the violence is left-wing and all the violence that's supposedly right-wing is just paid by leftists and orchestrated by leftists. All right, the violent people at Jan 6 were FBI agents, and the violent people at all these other protests were funded by leftoids, all right? Like, it's crazy. Anyway.
What we're here today is to announce what the...
This is total vindication, by the way.
What the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive, sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups.
They're anti-white, anti-racist, and they fund and orchestrate fake right-wing violence. God, it's so perfect. I was so happy when I saw this, dude. I could not believe it.
For a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups.
Bro.
I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups.
Absolute cinema.
The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America,
gay fucking anti-white racist bitches, the anti-racists that were fighting against white supremacy, were literally funding the KKK. It doesn't get any better than this, man. It doesn't get any better. This is the truth, Nuke, that I was so excited for. I literally can't believe. Well, KKK, Democrats since the very beginning.
America, Unite to Right,
Unite
National
to Right.
Alliance, the National.
Remember Unite to Right. We're gonna get into that in a second.
Socialist Movement,
The National Socialist Movement. They were funding the KKK and the National Socialist Movement. Oh my God. Like, this is crazy, bro.
Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center,
complete fucking vindication, man. I'm so vindicated, it's crazy.
top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network.
Oh, shit.
They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred. This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration. We're thankful for the president for his leadership and funding of not just the FBI and DOJ, but his commitment to go out there and wipe out fraud and conspiracy and waste and abuse wherever it occurs, including the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Massive.
Even though this money was made...
Just absolutely massive. I'm so excited to show you the leftist reaction to this. Well, most of it just ignores it, obviously, but I'm so excited to show you the leftists that actually did react. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. This might be the greatest thing ever. This might be incredible.
To appear to be coming from legitimate people and legitimate entities, we at the FBI, with our great partners at the Department of Justice and in the state of Alabama, were able to comb through a decade worth of material, a scheme that took a decade to build, so that we were able to follow the money, because money never lies, and they got caught. As the Attorney General said, these charges are varying. They are widespread and wide-ranging, and this investigation is very much ongoing. Today, we're here to announce the charges of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and this investigation and the individuals who are responsible will be brought to justice. Thank you, General.
Absolute
We're here.
cinema. Just absolute cinema. This is the craziest thing I think I've seen in a very long time. All right, this is what I voted for, motherfuckers. This is absolute cinema. All right, and the best part is reporters are like trying their absolute best to nickel and dime these guys, like to run defense for this leftist socialist organization, which aside from committing fraud and raising money on false pretenses, saying that they were fighting racism, they were the #1 funders of the so-called racists, right? Orchestrating all these fake racist riots and movements. All right, now the reporter tries to be like, allegedly.
And you're alleging that the Southern Poverty Law Center was paying the leaders of KKK and other groups to continue their operations? Is that?
I'm not alleging it. The grand jury returned an indictment that says that. And so.
Oh, it is not an allegation that these fucking transsexual gay socialists are funding the KKK. It's a fact.
So what the investigation found, according to the indictment that was returned today, is that they were paying. So the Southern Poverty Law Center is raising money, asking folks to give them money to dismantle racism, and over a very long period of time, they were using some of the money they raised from donors to pay to, they called them field, basically to informants, for information, for access, to just pay them for certain to do certain things, and so yes, that's exactly what the indictment charges.
Oh my God! So no, they weren't allegedly funding the KKK. they were funding the KKK. This might be the greatest revelation I think I've seen in a long time. This means all the stats about right-wing extremism are fake. True, by the way. So, you know, one of the things is, like, you know, the both sides argument. It's like, both sides commit violence. You know, I mean, on the left, we commit violence institutionally. Aside from murdering 1 million babies a year and promoting the castration of children, we also assassinate everyone we don't like, all right? And then, and on the right, I mean, they include Islamic violence as right-wing violence, because, well, Islamic values are right-wing values. Yeah, and the leftists brought them here, all right? Listen, man. All right, so they cook the books as much as they can on promoting the quote-unquote right-wing violence, and now we're finding out that a lot of the quote-unquote right-wing violence is literally funded by leftists, right? It's literally leftists in disguise, all right? There is no right-wing extremism. Well, maybe, I'm sure there is, obviously, but it's so unbelievably minute that they had to fabricate it in order to fight it. Unbelievable. Elon Musk says SPLC funded a large number of these false flag right-wing organizations and events. Total scam. All right, this is a massive story right now that everyone's involved in. This is the U.S. Department of Justice happening now. Justice Department announces indictments against the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. Our indictment alleges SPLC secretly funneled more than $3 million in funds to members of white supremacist and extremist groups. Oh my fucking God! And this is a grand jury indictment, bro. Now, there's a lot of allegations about Nick Fuentes, all right? Because Nick Fuentes, how did he get his funding? Questions like that. And I'll get to that in a bit. But just to understand, this is what's actually written in the grand jury indictment. F-37 was a member of the online leadership chat group planned the 2017 Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia. Remember this. And attended the event at the direction of SPLC. F-37 made racist postings under the supervision of SPLC and helped coordinate transportation for the event for several attendees. Before 2015 and 2023, the SPLC secretly paid F-37 more than $270,000. So this F-37 guy is some right-wing Nazi supremacist guy that was literally getting funded by, like, the gay Democrat socialist fuckfaces, and that funded his Unite the Right event in Charlottesville. Now, just to understand, SPLC bankrolled the Charlottesville white supremacy riot. Now, you have to understand exactly what this was used for, all right? You are living in complete delusion if you're not following this blue retard on the internet. I'm not going to lie, definitely subscribe. Because you don't understand the depths of the psyop. This is Biden running for president of the United States.
Close your eyes. Remember what you saw on television. Remember seeing those neo-Nazis and Klansmen and white supremacists coming out of fields with lighted torches. And remember what the president said when asked?
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
Their veins bulging.
He said specifically that he was condemning them. He did.
Right, so you got Trump condemning the white supremacists and neo-Nazis, and you got Biden saying, look at what happened in Charlottesville. And it was funded by leftists.
Not. He said he walked out and he said, let's get this straight. The veins bulging on their, as they were screaming. Remember, just close your eyes and picture what it was. Their veins bulging. Their veins bulging. Nazi sympathizers, carrying Nazi fags. Veins bulging. Their veins bulging. Veins bulging. Veins bulging.
This was all a psyop. Not only did Trump not call the Nazis very fine people, like Biden said that he did, but the Nazi rally was funded by leftists.
How are you, baby? How old are you? Their veins bulging. Just their veins bulging. Bulging. Veins. Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys. Their veins they're bulging.
Yeah.
Their veins bulging. Their veins bulging. Veins is bulging.
As you can see, this became one of his central talking points running for president of the United States, and it was predicated on the lie that a bunch of right-wing racists got together and that Trump supported it. All right, not only did Trump not support it, but it was literally funded and orchestrated by leftists.
Bulging. Bulging. Fewer. Have you ever heard this president say one negative thing about white supremacists? Have you ever heard it?
Yeah.
Racism is evil.
Damn it.
And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK.
Which was funded by the Democrats. I'm telling you, man, this whole shit is falling apart in real time.
For president in 2020.
Here, look at this. This is why Biden ran for president.
I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville.
Funded by leftists! leftists. It's so over. It's so over. This was all an op. It was all an op. The leftists funded some sort of quote-unquote Nazi rally so that they could use that as their campaign for why they would need to take power to stop the Nazis. And it was all an op, and the retards fell for it.
In August of 2017, extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging.
And it was all funded by leftists. SPLC bankrolled the Charlottesville white supremacy riot, and that is why Biden ran for president, to stop Nazis. And it was funded by leftists. God, this is like absolutely fucking slam dunk. These people are evil pieces of shit. Now we know why the Atlantic went after Cash last week. Yup. We pay people to be racist so we could fight racism, says the Southern Poverty Law Center. And Elon Musk says their scam worked for decades. And it's true. They did. Biden almost won an election. And then they cheated on the voting, and then he became president. I'm joking, kidding. Matt Walsh says the SPLC is a criminal organization that funded the right-wing hate groups and organized fake right-wing protests so that it could turn around and fundraise off of them and use them as pretext to crack down on conservatives nationwide. Keep in mind, every leftist activist group is just as corrupt, dishonest, and sinister as this. SPLC is the tip of the iceberg. This is massive. This is absolutely massive. Unbelievable. Being a real racist, it's so difficult to be a real racist in today's America. Eating scraps, getting demonetized on YouTube, but LARPing as a racist for the SPLC, and you're making bajillions. This is so sad. This is so sad. Society is so sad. SPLC Employee of the Month, this guy says with a picture of Nick Fuentes. And again, I told you I was going to get back to that. So Nick Fuentes actually did go to that Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, which is now clearly been funded by the SPLC, according to the FBI. But before we get into this, I want to make myself clear. One of the big conspiracy theories is that Nick Fuentes is a Fed, and he's a Fed. He went to Jan 6, and he basically told people to be violent by the Jan 6 protests and riots or whatever, insurrection as the retards call it. And he didn't face any jail time for that. So a lot of people were saying he was some sort of Fed. In fact, right now, Nick Fuentes is on his stream telling people to vote for Democrats because he wants to teach Trump for being pro-Israel. All right, so he's telling people to vote for Democrats. So a lot of people say he's a giant psyop. Tucker Carlson even called him a psyop and a Fed. I personally don't agree. I don't think he is. Personally, I think he's been, very consistent for a very long time. I don't think he's a Fed. Obviously, I disagree with a lot of his opinions. I agree with some of his opinions, too. Don't get me wrong. He is literally rooting for Iran to win this war against America and kill thousands of our soldiers right now. I think that's some heinous shit, but I don't think he's a Fed. However, there's a lot more evidence going into maybe he was a Fed all along pile.
What we're doing with Unite the Right is let's put every important person in our movement in one place, and everyone sees us as a threat to civilization. I mean, isn't that kind of worrisome? I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm not concerning people. I'm still going to go. You can't live your life in fear, but you think of it that Kessler, Enoch, Spencer, James Alsop, Baked Alaska, I mean, like, everyone's going to be there. Sam Hyde, Lauren Southern, people from Rebel Media are going to be there. And I don't know, is that a great idea? I don't know who thought.
Well, I know who thought it was a great idea.
It'd be a great idea. Like,
I know who thought it would be a great idea. The leftists that funded it. Oh my God. Crazy. Well, speaking of people that actually called this out, Alex Jones called this out like 6 years ago.
Charlottesville was mainly a bunch of homosexual leftists dressing up like Nazis who'd all formerly worked for Obama or Hillary, part of their art club. And then they lured a bunch of reporters there and some real white supremacists so the police could stand down and collide them into the folks. I pointed out that some of the same leftist foundations are funding the white supremacists that are funding real white supremacists in Ukraine. I got sued for that, even though it's, they tried to say that I said some cameraman killed the girl. I didn't say that the cameraman killed them. I said it was all part of leftists coming out to come to this big event and hope there was some big crisis out of it to demonize the right in general and tie us to Nazis. But that's ongoing in Charlottesville. You're not supposed to.
And he was right. Another shekel into the Alex Jones was always right jar. He was completely correct. He literally called this like 6 years ago. Yes, Charlottesville was funded by leftists, and it was giga homosexual faggots wandering around in KKK outfits. He actually called it. And Charlie Kirk, who's just completely right about fucking everything, man. Oh my God, what a legend. God, rest in peace. What a goat. He said in 2023, the SPLC is a hate group. You know, like, I'm telling you, man, this dude, this is why the left killed him. It's because he was effective, because he was right. And no matter how many times Candace Owens says he's killed by Egyptians and Israelis working together with Sumerian time travelers, I'm not going to buy it. It's just, it's unreal. Now, there used to be a community note on this post. All right, remember, this came out in 2023. This came out a while ago. And the community note used to say, the SPLC is a civil rights organization fighting white supremacy and protecting civil rights since 1971. It identifies actual hate groups based on their actions, not its own. Claims calling the SPLC a hate group misrepresent its mission. Charlie Kirk was fucking right. Charlie Kirk was fucking right, as he was about almost everything. Unbelievable. Now, speaking of Charlie Kirk, one of Charlie Kirk's so-called friends, Tucker Carlson, keeps fucking laughing at his death.
Favorite line, we had dinner with Russell Brand at home last night. Obviously, you were there. And his line that, you know, the thing about lone gunmen is they always seem to assassinate people who challenge institutional power. It's kind of amazing. Your average lone gunman just goes out, who knows why, and kills people who are criticizing the people in charge. Maybe the people in charge.
Charlie Kirk was objectively Trump's biggest supporter ever. Arguably the guy that got him elected. Just saying.
Should connect with the lone gunman community. Kind of like McDonald's and Coca-Cola got together. It's just like a natural partnership. Have they ever thought of that?
This is him laughing that his friend was assassinated. I'm just being real here. What the fuck is happening?
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing with the murder of a friend of mine, but
I shouldn't be laughing. A friend of mine was just killed.
Like, it is. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing with the murder of a friend of mine, but like,
repeats it again because he's like, wait a second, this is bad.
It is. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing with the murder of a friend of mine.
Yeah, that's pretty awkward, isn't it? Unbelievable, bro. Now, just unbelievable shit. It really is crazy. Now, of course, Alex Jones, who's been crashing out on Donald Trump for a while now, right? He's saying Trump needs to be impeached for going to war with Iran. He backstabbed us. He backstabbed us. He betrayed us. He betrayed us. He's also making the frogs gay, you know? And he's been having a pretty wild crash out. He flipped back. He's back on Team Trump, guys. He's back on Team Trump. Trump is actually destroying the deep state.
Said this thousands of times. I want to be a cheerleader for Kash Patel. I want to be a cheerleader for Todd Blanche. I want to believe in Trump.
You literally just called for his impeachment like a week ago.
I want to see the deep state indicted. And I've been on there 32 years, and my wheelhouse has been the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL running the KKK, the Aryan nations, all of them. It's come out. They got caught in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s doing it. It is well documented. Randy Weaver wouldn't work for him, and so they killed his wife and everything. Todd Blanche and Kash Patel, 11 indictments today. So I'm going to call balls and strikes. People say, wait, you're mad at them. You say they're bad. Well, yeah, because I've seen a bunch of past bad behavior. I call balls and strikes. I just saw this news, went and read all the articles in the indictment. I had a freaking political orgasm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, he's back. We got him back, boys. We got him back. That's actually insane watching this happen. Now, Steven Crowder's completely right about this. The SPLC is big tech secret police for silencing conservatives, too. For years, Google, YouTube, and Facebook used the SPLC to justify bans, demonetization, and blacklisting. By the way, this is true. You know, when the ADL or the SPLC or one of these other giga gay homosexual faggot organizations decides to call you out for being a racist, you're cooked, right? YouTube immediately will bend the knee and ban you. They'll demonetize you. They'll deplatform you. So same with Facebook, Google, all these different websites and social medias. They will destroy you. And one of the major sites that they always source are like these social justice organizations, like the SPLC, the moral arbiters. All right, and apparently these people were funneling millions of dollars to extremists in order to foment hatred, so that they could like create a fake boogeyman that they fight. Because I have just come off of 17 days of demonetization where I'm not going to be getting paid for. And, you know, I'm supposed to be getting paid now, even though it doesn't show up on my YouTube studio yet. I'll bother YouTube again later. You know, this is at the same time as Asmongold getting banned during on Twitch for commenting on Trump and the Iran war, and all these other people that are getting hit with the same shit. You know, conservatives have been targeted forever. A lot of people call people that make right-wing content right-wing grifters. The grifters are all on the left. All right, every single person that says a man could be a woman is a grifter because 99% of people know that men can't be fucking women. They are grifters, because that is the protected position. You've never seen a leftist deplatformed ever. You know, everyone calls Nick Fuentes like some extreme neo-Nazi guy. His rhetoric is not 1% of as extreme as Hassan Piker, and Hassan Piker is literally fully monetized and literally advertised on every single one of these, like, gay fucking platforms. Twitch, owned by Amazon, YouTube, owned by Google. He's everywhere. Zero bans, no issues whatsoever anywhere. All right, the grifting is on the left. It's really not on the right. And the SPLC, one of these hate groups, is one of the people that's actually just coming to destroy us every time. Now, my favorite thing is watching the leftist response to this. So Evan Loves Wharf, he's like one of these big leftist Twitter accounts. The idea doesn't make any sense at all. If SPLC wanted to manufacture white supremacy, they would fund groups like Turning Point USA, the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, MAGA, etc. Not groups no one gives a shit about like the KKK. This is a totally made-up story. This is literally a grand jury indictment, bro. Like, what are we fucking doing? There is factual evidence. It's not allegations. It's factual evidence that they've been funding the KKK. And you think that MAGA and TPUSA are even remotely as radical as the KKK? Like, this is crazy shit. It really is. All right? And the funniest part is, this is perfect. I'm so happy he did this, actually. You know, a lot of people are mad when leftists do this. I love it when they do this, because these people need to be shamed into oblivion. All right? There's no other option. This is incredible. Far leftists is met with factual evidence that all the hate that defined their personality was manufactured by the very political party they align with. And even then, this guy can't come to terms with it, all right? He was played. He cannot come to terms with it. He is just a mouthpiece of the leftoid hate machine, and he's willing to continue to embrace the false reality that he quite literally needs to exist for his own identity to survive. He needs the evil religious people, the Christians, the religious Jews, the conservatives, the MAGA people. He needs them to be the villain, or else he quite literally cannot justify his existence. So even when confronted with actual, verifiable, factual evidence, he literally cannot even contend with reality. It's honestly awesome. It's fucking awesome. What a phenomenal W, man. Now, you will notice a through line through all of this, and it's the left has to lie. The left has to lie, subvert, and basically manipulate to survive. It is not actually an ideology that can exist naturally because it is not natural. It doesn't believe in reality. Doesn't believe in having families and raising children to follow these values. They don't even want you to have children. All right, so it purely needs to exist through this nebulous state of trickery and confundedness. That's exactly what happened today in Virginia. So Donald Trump made this tweet, and I'm going to show you what happened, because this is one of the most, in my opinion, anti-democratic things I've ever seen in my entire life. And in my opinion, also illegal, which currently the courts are trying to strike it down. But anyway, you have to see this. It's insane. Donald Trump tweeted, "A rigged election took place last night in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. All day long, Democrats were winning. Their spirit was unbelievable until at the very end, when, of course, there was a massive mail-in ballot drop. Where have I heard that before? And the Democrats eked out another crooked victory. 6-5 goes to 10-1. I'll show you what he's referring to in a second. And yet the presidential election in November was very close to a 50-50 split. In addition to everything else, the language on the referendum was purposely unintelligible and deceptive, and I will show that to you in just a minute as well. As everyone knows, I am an extraordinarily brilliant person. Yep, and even I had no idea what the hell they were talking about at the referendum, and neither do they. Let's see if the court will fix this travesty of justice. They're currently trying. All right, so I'm going to give you the deep dive on what's actually going on. This is one of the craziest situations I think we've ever seen just happen just so openly in front of our eyes. Democrats huddling together like a bundle of sticks, the way they always have. So, to understand, Virginia voters have passed a new congressional map expecting to give 10 seats to Democrats and 1 seat to Republicans. So, this is Virginia's old congressional district map, or, you know, the one that it used to be, where you have District 9 over here, 6 over here, 5 over here, 2 over here. Cool stuff, right? So, essentially, it was 6 to Democrat and 5 to Republicans. Very cool. Anyway, they recently did a vote. This is pretty awesome. And they're redistricting it to this. They're just making District 9 massive, fucking huge, cutting into every different crevice they possibly can. And, oh, that's the Republican one. Oh, and I guess all the other ones are majority Democrat now. And that is exactly what we're dealing with right now in Virginia. They are voted to redistrict the map, to basically give 10 districts to Democrats and 1 to Republicans. Now, why would they do this? It's obviously not fair or representative. They know, obviously. They fucking hate you. They hate your country. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in the values they claim to espouse. They call themselves the Democrats, and they're anti-democratic in every possible way. They only want power. All right? They are a subversive entity. They are the demons of Freeran. They use words to control you. They scream about democracy and fascism when Donald Trump is doing literally fucking anything. Right? Donald Trump brushes his teeth and it's fascism. These people redistrict a 50-50 Republican to Democrat split state into 1 district for Republicans and 10 for Democrats. All right. Now, this should make you really fucking angry. Because I have to show you what everyone said. I have to show you how Obama got involved. It's like, you know, Republicans win an election. It's a threat to democracy. Virginia's vote to remove the rights of 49% of the people in the state, and it's a victory for democracy. I hope you see how this goes. Even CNN is condemning them. All right, so Dems now control 90% of districts in a state they only won by 5% for the sake of fairness. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that nice? Look at that. Look how they fucking did this. They made this 1 district in order to make sure that, you know, they wouldn't be able to win this district or this district. It's just the most evil shit in the world. It really is, obviously, evil as fuck. Now, I have opinions on democracy in general, which obviously people tune in to watch this channel, not only because I am glib at the downfalls of my enemies, but also because my opinions are all correct. Well, maybe not correct, but they're all at least thought out. Now, they might not be correct, but they're thought out. I think democracy's fucking bullshit. You know who else did? The founding fathers. Our country was never built as a democracy. It's always been a republic. All right? It's never supposed to be a democracy. Democracy means the dipshits out that get propagandized by the fucking George Soroses manage to outvote you in literally everything. A constitutional republic means that only certain people that meet certain qualifications should vote as they should. Now, what should those qualifications be? Landowners, couples with heterosexual couples with children, net positive taxpayers. I could give you multiple examples as to what the people that pass a specific test to prove that they actually know what the fuck they're voting on. You know, I could give you a whole lot of examples as to what I think would be a much fairer way to make this republic. But the idea that every single fucking retard gets a vote on how they could sodomize us, I think it's absolutely diabolical in every possible way. So I am actually anti-democracy. Don't get me wrong. I think democracy is bullshit. And there's a reason why that, you know, you see many different systems of law show up in the Bible, for example. None of it was democracy. So yeah, anyway, the leftoids, the Democrats, claim to care about democracy. Everyone should have an opinion. Even the Nigerian rapists should be able to vote. All right, we know the Democrat opinion. Now, anyway, Virginia in 2024 was 52% Kamala, 47% Trump. Virginia for redistricting was 51% yes, 49% no. And now the new congressional seats are 91% Democrats, 9% Republicans. Look how fucking crazy that is. Oh my God. This should literally shock the shit out of you. Leaving Democrats with 10 House seats and Republicans with only 1. It's truly evil, honestly. Texas Republicans take 73% of the districts in a state they won by 15%. Media, fascism. Virginia Democrats take 91% of the district in a state that they won by 5%. Media, democracy. And this is what we need to deal with. We need to deal with the biggest psyop of all time. Here we have 51% of voters taking away 100% of the rights of 49% of the voters. Democracy! This is the correct opinion, and this is why socialism is evil and theft. All right, because socialism essentially is the fact that these dipshits that don't have a job, that are unemployed, they're fucking retarded. Some of them aren't, but most of them are. All right, and I'm just objectively, most people in America that are living on the street are fucking retards. All right, I'm sorry if that offends you. You are the minority if you are not retarded. We are the richest civilization that ever existed in the history of planet Earth. But there's wealth inequality. That is correct. A billionaire lives in a mansion while you live in a 2-bedroom apartment. The wealth inequality a couple hundred years ago was the billionaire lived in a palace and you died of measles on flea bottom eating old potato peels. Socialism just basically means a lot of retards vote to steal your shit, and now you have to give it to them or they'll kill you. That's socialism. Now, 5 districts in Virginia now start in this circle, tentacles from D.C. reaching across the state. If you actually look at the gerrymandering, just look at how evil it is. If this doesn't just prove to you how evil it is, it's insane. So this is obviously D.C. Now, if you look at this map, you'll notice what used to be decently cut out areas, I guess, still not great. Now is this. Now is this fucking bullshit. This actual bullshit. What is that, dude? What is this? That's crazy, bro. That's insane. Oh, my God. Scott Jennings dropped a truth nuke on CNN.
Scott, what's your take?
Virginia literally had the fairest maps in the nation. They had a 6-5 map, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. In terms of proportional representation, they had the fairest map in the nation that was drawn, by the way, by an independent commission that the voters asked for just a few years ago. Now they will have the least fair maps in the nation. And I'm not surprised that the yes vote won. They had all the money and all the lies.
That's right.
And sometimes in politics, what do you
like? Let's be honest. The left doesn't vote for fairness; they vote for power. That's always been that way. And the right does too. To be fair, I'm not trying to make that. That's not a partisan issue. Everyone votes because they want power. But essentially, there's no justice on the left. All right, and then they'll use all of your words against you. I thought you cared about democracy. I don't. I thought you cared about racism. Yeah, not really. I don't really care about that so much either. I thought you cared about free speech. Yeah, well, when you're supporting terrorist organizations and you're a foreigner, I still want you to get deported. I actually don't care. Like the weapons, the lies, they don't work on people that actually know what they're talking about.
You got those two things. You can put something over the line, even something as egregious as this. This whole thing has driven Spamberger's approval ratings down into the toilet. She lied to the people of Virginia. They had to write a ballot question that was a joke. They drew maps that were a joke. Now you're going to have huge chunks of rural Virginia represented by 5 or 6 Democrats who all live in northern Virginia within about 15 miles of each other.
That's right. That's right. So a couple of guys are all going to live here in this little tiny area over here, and these guys are going to be the representatives of these people living in farms over here. All right, so all the people here are going to be controlled and represented by a couple of dipshits here. Isn't that incredible?
Each other. It's a complete joke. Everybody knows it. And there's a reason that all these national Democrats and all their money came into Virginia because, they don't really care about the people of Virginia. They just care about power. They did. What I have a problem with in Virginia is you had a fair map, and you also had an independent commission draw it, and you also had the new governor, tell the people of Virginia during her campaign she wasn't going to do it. So this whole thing was built on lies.
Yep.
And the ballot question, if you read it, was a total joke.
Yep.
You showed the map of the districts. They're a complete joke. And so I think what they've done is they basically disenfranchised.
It's like against democracy.
Yeah, it is literally against democracy. Even CNN is like in shock. It is against democracy. In order to you got 51% of the people to vote to take the rights away from another 49% of the people. It's truly incredible stuff. It really is. It's wild. All right. Now, Fox News obviously was even less kind than CNN, as they should have been.
Fox News alert. According to the AP, voters in Virginia have approved Democrats' plan to gerrymander congressional districts 50 to 49. This could flip 4 House seats from Republican control to Democrats.
Yeah, so obviously not good, but also retarded. Now, Barack Obama, and this is incredible, says, "Congratulations, Virginia. Republicans are trying to tilt the midterm elections in their favor, but they haven't done it yet. Thanks for showing us what it looks like to stand up for our democracy and fight back." This is the most anti-democratic shit of all time. It's crazy. All right. Meanwhile, 5 seconds ago, for way too long, gerrymandering has contributed to the stalled process and warped representative government. Redistricting begins next year. Let's do our part to protect and restore democracy. Let's not gerrymander, guys. Let's not do that. That's bad. Anyway, congratulations, Virginia, on voting to redistrict the map in the most bullshit way possible, where now you have 91% Democrats representing 51% Democrats. It's honestly insane. And then, I love how these guys are like, you stood up for democracy and made the most undemocratic map in the history of our nation. All right, these people, they're so forward in the way they want to actually use this communist tactic to take over our country. All right, Virginia, today is the day you vote to redistrict. Make sure to vote yes. All right, so you got Obungus, all right, Barunkus Obungus just saying yes. Okay, just say vote yes. All right, now, what are they voting for, though? Well, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Kamala Harris, who they're also astroturfing right now because it looks like they're going to try to have her run again. Donald Trump and Republicans have tried to rig the 2026 midterms. Literally how? Today in Virginia, voters sent them a clear message that you could steal congressional seats if you're a slimy shitbag? All right. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris said this just a couple of months ago. Politicians shouldn't be able to pick their voters. Voters should choose their representatives. The Supreme Court's gerrymandering decision will have drastic consequences for the future of our nation. As president, banning partisan gerrymandering will be a top priority. So this is in 2019, talking about how they're going to fight against gerrymandering. Well, they don't care about that anymore, it seems. Now they just want power, like always. All right, so this is what Obama basically said. Congratulations, Virginia. You disenfranchised virtually every Republican at the congressional level. Democracy! That's how it works, man. That's how it works. You get a bunch of blue retards and they vote to remove your rights. Understand that this is where it's headed everywhere. All right, now there's another very, very fundamental part to this. Well, aside from all them lying, obviously.
By ending some of the partisan gerrymandering so that all voters have the power to choose their politicians, not the other way around.
Well, he didn't care about that, actually. None of that mattered to him at all. All right, and that is the new gerrymander map, bro.
Map would likely mean Democrats would control 10 of
Look at
11
that.
districts in Virginia. We at Fox spoke with voters across the Commonwealth, and they tell us they are split over this decision to redraw.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, look at this fucking lobster that they drew over here instead. That's crazy. Anyway, Florida, the greatest fucking state of all time. Florida, the Giga Chads, decided, you know what? We're going to fight back. We're going to gerrymander the fucking shit out of Florida.
Has compact districts. It's done in a way that makes a lot of sense. And the reality is if you look at like California, you know, they're doing all this dog and pony show there now, saying, oh, Texas, we've got to combat Texas. California is one of the worst gerrymandered maps there is. You know, what they did, this is how they do. They're like, no, we're going to do an independent commission. So they do a commission. The problem is, it's like, if you truly were independent, it's like you would be immune to any type of partisan pressures. But that commission is comprised of liberal Democrats, liberal independents, and very liberal Republicans. I think one of the Republicans is from Berkeley, like not exactly a hotbed of Reagan conservatism. It's just, it is what it is. So they hotwired that independent commission to produce a map that was very much gerrymandered and was not something that was fair to Republicans, even at that time. Now they're saying they want to do even more by doing whatever they're talking about doing now. So don't buy this notion that if someone has a commission, that somehow means it is immune from this type of partisan pressures.
He's just completely right. So it's official. Now Florida has a chance to redistrict 1 week from tonight after Virginia did their ridiculous map. Special session convenes in 7 days. All right, so it looks like this is actually going to... It looks like this might happen. We might end up with like fucking retard politics of both sides just drastically doing the most heinous shit possible to, you know, maintain control. Now, of course, Hakeem Jeffries freaks out about this. Leader Jeffries and Republicans trying to gerrymander Florida after their resounding defeat in Virginia redistricting referendum. If Florida Republicans proceed with this illegal scheme, they will only create more prime pickup opportunities for Democrats. We are prepared to take them on everywhere. We will win. Warfare all over the place, all the time. All right, so the Floridians are considering redistricting to this. Oh my God, this is retard situation, man. These people are fucking horrible. It's crazy. All right, so anyway, it gets worse. Top Democrat political campaign strategist James Carville just stated on the left-wing Polycon podcast, when the Democrats regain power, they plan to grant statehood to Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico, so the Democrats can unlock 4 extra seats in the Senate, pack the U.S. Supreme Court with 9 justices and 13 justices, adding another 4 left-wing justices to the court, reopen the U.S.-Mexico border, grant mass amnesty to every single alien currently inside the United States. His advice to Democrat politicians: don't run on it, don't talk about it, just do it. And this is seemingly exactly what these people are trying to do, because they hate America and because they want to completely destroy us and control us. So whenever I see a dipshit, and yes, a dipshit, saying, oh, we have to teach the Republicans a lesson, we need to vote Democrat, this is what they're doing. They are trying to put people into power that would rape our country into complete and utter unrecognizable bullshit. All right? Like, they would destroy us. This is an existential battle. It really is. All right? This is how the Democrats decided to take full control of the state government in 2026.
Virginia is officially cooked because the state now holds a brand new Democrat government trifecta, which means the Democrats control the government's office, the state Senate, and the House of Delegates. And on top of that, Virginia just got a new governor, Abigail Spanberger. What a name. And oh my God, they wasted no time because they just introduced a host of new bills that'll make your head spin. Keep in mind the Democrats have full control of the state government, so keep that in your noggin while I read these out. They want a new sales tax on Uber Eats, Amazon, and deliveries.
Of course, more taxes so they can give it to illegal aliens.
Sales tax on admission to a wide variety of businesses. Great.
Huge. Somalia did need more money.
2 new higher tax brackets on people making over $600,000 a year.
Of course, you should not be working to actually succeed in this country. You should be working to infinitely pay migrants.
10% tax bracket for anyone making over $1 million. A 3.8 investment tax on top of state income tax. Ooh, the people making money ain't gonna like that one. Raise the hotel tax. New property tax on landscape equipment. A ban on gas-powered leaf blowers.
That's right, no gas. No gas, we have to be gay. We have to have windmills and faggots everywhere, all right? It seems like George Soros-linked networks funneled $64 million into Virginia's redistricting referendum through groups with no IRS filings on record. Of course. So, you know, everyone's saying, oh, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. Bernie Sanders, the richest man in the world. He's fighting on the side of Donald Trump. The oligarchy is so dangerous. The oligarchy is so dangerous. Excuse me. You have $64 million that went into stealing a state, bro, and it's so bad because it also seems like it was rigged. Now, Donald Trump called it rigged, and so did I, and I believe it was actually rigged. Get a load of this one.
Check this out, guys. So at 8:39, look at this. The no votes were ahead, right? 236, 206.
Right, so no votes at 50.6 and yes votes at 49.4. All right, so the no votes were ahead of the yes votes. All right.
Within 5 minutes, look at this. There's a jump. Look at that.
How did that happen? It moved an entire 0.5% within 5 minutes.
That jump. Of over what? 60,000 votes?
Yeah, 65,000 votes managed to come in within 5 minutes. Very cool. Mail-in ballots. Totally nothing to see here. No scams. Nothing to see. Bro, even CNN is crashing out that this is retarded.
And just take a look at how this map is structured. What they do is they've taken the heavily Democratic areas in the northern area of Virginia, and they've created 5 separate districts that basically pinwheel out to go out into conservative, more rural areas, including where we are right now in the proposed 7th congressional district. It's actually interesting. We're kind of like smack dab in the middle of the district. And if you go in one direction, there's another district about 1.5 miles away. In the other direction, there's
yeah, because they turned all of these districts, these beautiful boxes, into just tentacles. Tentacles coming out of D.C.
Another district about 2 miles away, really highlighting the shifts that are being seen right now with these proposed maps.
It's honestly insane. Yeah, even CNN losing their mind at how retarded this is. It's crazy. Now, if you thought that was bad, wait until you see what they voted on. So understand that Obama, for example, told everyone, just vote yes. Just go and you'll get the thing and you'll vote yes. And all these guys will be like, oh my God, I love Obama. He's black, so that means he hates racism. All right, and then they vote yes on all the shit. Well, look at what they voted on.
In Virginia, the race has been called. The yes votes have won out on that special referendum Democrats will use to try and attempt to rig all but one of the state's 11 congressional districts in their favor. Donald Trump got 46% of the vote. Now, the wording of this amendment, it was so corrupt, so abusively one-sided and biased, a judicial review is a certainty.
Yeah, and people are actually looking into how they can undo this. Now, a Virginia Circuit Court is actually trying to undo this entire election.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger celebrating the win in yesterday's redistricting vote, voters narrowly approving a new pro-Democrat congressional map in a controversial referendum that critics have slammed as a, quote, power grab. The outcome threatens the already very tight Republican House majority. Mark Meredith is live in Alexandria, Virginia, with more on this. And Mark, that vote ended up pretty narrow.
Bill, it sure did a lot narrower than some people were expecting, and Virginia voters showed up in huge numbers to determine Tuesday's redistricting referendum. This morning, Democrats are celebrating the outcome, saying they're putting a check on President Trump's power, but Republicans say this is simply proof that Virginia has lost its way. More than 3 million people cast their ballot in what you said was a narrowly defined race. However, voters chose to give the legislature power to redraw congressional maps before November's midterms. The new map is expected to take take Republicans down from 5 congressional districts to 1. We heard from the chair of the National Republican Congressional Committee, who wrote, Democrats can't redraw reality. This close margin reinforces that.
That's exactly what they do, though. They just don't care about reality.
Virginia is a purple state that shouldn't be represented by a severe partisan gerrymander. Democrats say they felt emboldened to act after Republicans in Texas redistricted too. Governor Abigail...
Not nearly as badly as this, by the way.
Spanberger and former President Obama, they were the ones leading the effort in the Commonwealth. We heard from the former President Obama saying Republicans are trying to tilt the midterm elections in their favor, but they haven't done it yet.
It's like Republicans are trying to win elections by people voting, so we have to destroy them. We have to literally take bulldozers over their graves.
Thanks for showing us what it looks like to stand up for our democracy and fight back. So Tuesday's outcome means, yes, that Democrats have a better shot now at taking the House come November, but other states are still weighing whether to redraw their maps. As Politico points out, pressure is now growing on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to make up for Democrats' gains with a GOP-led redistricting effort in his state as soon as next week. And while voters decided here in Virginia, there is another X factor in all this, Bill. The Virginia State Supreme Court is still deciding whether or not this will all be able to stand. There were multiple challenges to this redistricting referendum, including how the language on the ballot was written.
Yeah, because apparently the language was just impossible to actually understand. And it's brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. All right, so early in-person is 1.6% Democrats. Election day in-person was +9 GOP. And then mail-in ballots were 45% Democrat. Wow, pretty weird, huh? Pretty weird. It seems like it was rigged. It seems like, and even if it wasn't rigged, it's evil. Like, that's the best part, all right? Not only was it rigged, probably, but also this shit is insane, right? There's no reasonable way. Look at this fucking lobster. Look at this. Can you believe this? Can you believe this is an actual district? Look at that shit. Just unfathomable, man. But this is what the Democrats call democracy. They use their buzzwords, they make up fake terms that they could use to essentially destroy and control you, and they do it every single time. Pathological psychopaths. Zero ethics. All right, they'll use words like democracy, or like our founding fathers, or First Amendment, or Christianity, or God, or values, or family. These words are weapons to leftoids. They don't care about any of them, obviously. Donald Trump wins the election. All these people scream and yell about democracy. They're lighting cars on fire, throwing bricks at police officers. You know, they're doing their gay little anti-ICE protest, trying to stop Trump from deporting pedophiles. All right, you know, and the threat to democracy. And then they literally will just vote your democracy away wherever they fucking can. It's honestly incredible. It really is. And again, I'm saying this from their perspective. They're supposed to care about democracy. And that this is what they give us. Look, man, I'm not a fan of democracy in general. Our founding fathers built this country to be a republic, and it's not anymore. Now it's a retard state run by dipshits. Repeal the 19th immediately. What are we doing? Now, there's been so much just leftoid garbage going on out here. We have to talk about it. These cretins coming out of the woodwork to destroy my country. Anyway, so this was a pretty great poll. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Hassan Piker? All right, recently he's been showing up on like all these talk shows everywhere because they're trying to astroturf him because the Democrat Party is like, yo, I feel like we should get the terrorist votes. You know, that's how they operate, right? They want to get the criminals to vote for them, so they release them from jails. They want the immigrants to vote for them, so they bring them into the country. They want to get the drug addicts to vote for them, so they give them free drugs in California. And now they're like, yo, we need to get the terrorist votes. So anyway, so they've been trying to collab with Hassan Piker. So do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Hassan Piker? Unfavorable, 15%. Favorable, 7%. Never heard of, 80%. That's just fucking brutal, man. It's just brutal, dude. Oh my god, that's diabolical. God, dude. 15 unfavorable, 7 favorable, never heard of, 80. Holy crap-a-loni. Now, Hassan has recently been getting obliterated by the RNC, all right? And the more, like, dude, people don't understand how great this is for me, all right? Like, I am certain that there's a lot of people that aren't that political in the country that, you know, they're going to be like, I don't know who to vote for. It's a lesser of two evils. Both parties are satanic pedophiles, which, I mean, are they wrong? And, you know, and these guys, they'll have to pick a side to vote on, right? And then they're going to see the new face of the Democratic Party, Hassan Piker.
The security checkpoints. I live streamed the entire process. I got stopped by a cop who thought I was like making fun of Mao Zedong, which I never would.
I would never make fun of Mao Zedong, right? Notice how he says he was stopped by a cop for making fun of Mao Zedong. Which just means that China's a shithole that doesn't have, like, rights, okay? China will jail you for freedom of speech, even though he goes out there and glazes China. Now, actually, China has been, you know, deporting a lot of Muslims. So, I mean, like, listen, maybe Hassan was right about China. That's crazy.
And never will. Mao Zedong.
I will never make fun of Mao Zedong. I will never do it. Cashes in his Chinese Communist Party check.
Dong is a one of the great leaders of this world, okay?
Mao Zedong was one of the great leaders of the world.
A man who changed the entire universe, the entire planet.
Yeah, Mao Zedong killed like 50 million people. He killed 50 million people, man. This guy was like super Hitler. Oh my God. Yeah, so anyway, so yes, actually, Democrats, please make Hassan Piker the face of your party. I'm sure your average undecided voter is going to be like, wow, dog shocking, alleged pedophile, terrorist supporting, pro-Mao Zedong. Holy fuck. I would love for this guy to be the party that I'm part of. Please keep doing it, man. Like, this is a win-win. The Democrats, you know, they're out here trying to put this guy everywhere, and honestly, that's just amazing for me. People have to understand that the Democratic Party is, in my opinion, a terrorist organization at this point. Now, breaking news. A Fairfax County judge is sending a 19-year-old illegal alien, Israel Flores Ortiz, to jail. 135 days for sexually assaulting 10 girls in high school. His defense attorney at the sentencing hearing today ridiculously tried to justify it by invoking the false allegations that have been made against President Trump. Wow, bro. He also said that his brain was not fully developed enough to know that he shouldn't sexually assault people. Yeah, this is the defense of, like, importing people from other cultures. It's like, well, in their culture, it's actually not so bad. Now, for those unaware of Fairfax County, I've been paying attention to it a lot. And the reason for that is simple. If you actually look at the statistics of crime that goes on in Fairfax County, 75% of homicides are committed by illegal aliens. That's right. In the entire county, 75% of homicides are illegal aliens that commit the homicides. That is a fucking scary statistic. Anyway, so this just happened yesterday. Bro is going to jail for a couple of months. All right, 4 months in jail for sexually assaulting 10 women, right? Remember when the left used to claim that they were like anti-rape and then they had to pivot to be pro-rape because they wanted to get the rape votes? That's right. I mean, like, you know, they'll be pro-Hassan to get the terrorist votes. They'll be pro this Israel Flores Ortiz guy, the pro-rape votes. It's pretty good stuff, honestly. I respect the hustle. And one of my favorite clips in the history of time is Vaush. This is Vaush. He is a communist dipshit who supports all sorts of degenerate garbage, advocates to legalize child porn whenever he possibly can, for those of you unfamiliar with the lore. So he has like a big YouTube channel, or he's like some famous communist debater guy. So this is one of the greatest clips in the history of the internet, and everyone needs to know it exists.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny because I'm over here.
Just, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna... Here, wait, hold on. I should probably move my webcam down because I'm like blocking their faces. I've been doing it the whole video. I just want to say, do you think it maybe speaks a little bit to the fact that we have a rape culture when we put six people in a room together to talk about Me Too, and when they're like, hey, who of you have experienced sexual assault, and the 4 women sit down and they've all been raped and they all can barely choke out a coherent sentence.
Wow. Our country is so sad. We have such a rape culture, unlike in Afghanistan where they have actual sex slaves, where it's so much better. Here we have a rape culture where you have 6 women who were literally called to discuss Me Too, okay? So, like, probably rape victims, all right? Or, you know, allegedly rape victims. And it's like, whoa, they're all victims. Whoa.
Like, do we think this perhaps maybe slightly speaks to the fact that there's a problem? Like, Me Too has gone too far. False allegations are ruining people's lives.
True.
Okay?
Yeah, but because some of these people consider sexual assault anything. He whistled at me in public. That's literally rape. Okay, dude.
Who among you have experienced sexual assault? And
I had consensual sex with somebody 4 years ago, and now I regret it. I was literally raped. I mean, so, like, yeah, it did go too far.
Like, every woman in the room starts crying? Like, what? Almost every female friend I have has been the recipient of sexual assault or
They were probably whores. Your female friends are probably whores.
violence or rape or whatever.
Again, rape does happen. Sexual assault does happen. It's an absolute nightmare when it does happen. We should be castrating rapists immediately. Don't get me wrong. That's for sure. However, yeah, literally cry about it.
At some point in their lives. Seriously.
Cry
it's
about
such
it,
a common thing. I think 1 in 4 is
It's so
probably
common.
understating it significantly.
1 in 4 is an understatement.
I wouldn't
Everyone
be
gets
surprised
raped.
if the rate for sexual assault on women over one's lifetime was as high as 1 in 3 or 1 in 2. We just don't know.
I love how he just pulls statistics out of his ass. Unlike the what's the number? 93% of women in Egypt that were raped.
Because nobody fucking reports, because reports aren't taken seriously.
Well, because sometimes they're lies. Why should we just believe every person? Anyway, it gets better. I'm going to show you this. This is the reason why this is my favorite clip of all time.
That's what Me Too is about.
All right, so this is him basically talking about rape culture. Every woman was raped. It's also sad. Every woman, they were all raped. It's horrifying. Every single one of them. It's a nightmare. And get ready.
Here, like, I don't think things are on the same level, but things impact you in, like, bizarre ways. But yeah, like, because the perpetrator wasn't white, and because he was, like, I'm, you know, part of, like, a certain religion.
Wait, are we being real?
And the police were basically just like, we can't, because I was a Muslim. Of cultural differences, which I don't feel like is such a good...
What? Bullshit! Are you fucking kidding me? Did she turn her fucking rape confession into how the refugees fucking Ahmed Muhammad raped her and the police were like, oh, we can't persecute brown people? Bullshit! Bullshit!
Believe all women until they accuse a Muslim. Anyway, so this is literally the leftists. This is literally the Democratic Party. Every woman was raped. They need to come forward with their statements. It's heartbreaking, but what if they get made fun of? Women don't want to come forward with their statements. I was raped by a Muslim. Bullshit! Yeah, anyway, so that's the leftists. So anywho, so this is a story of a pretty horrifying story. As you can see, this kind-looking individual laughing.
Killer smiled and giggled when learning he will spend the rest of his life in prison.
I'm not sure why you're laughing, sir.
Female judge is not sure why he's laughing. Let's understand the case. Criminal sentenced to life in prison. Brutally kills someone while in jail. Again, sentenced to life in prison. Laughs in the face of the judge. Female judge is confused. My God, dude, we have to get these bullshit woke judges out of here. We gotta get them out of here. But Nux, how do you know this judge is woke? It's a female judge. Sorry, I don't want to be that guy, bro, but like statistically. Anyway, representative from Florida Democratic Rep, Sheila McCormick, officially resigns after being charged with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds. It's like, it's every leftist, man. They're all fucking unconscionable dipshits. It's unreal. So there is a major issue going on in Texas. This was reported like a year ago, all right, that these churches are getting bought by Muslim communities, and they're converting them into mosques, and that just happened. All right, so that's another church conquered. We warned you last year, now it's happening. Radical imams, Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk, Pakistan-born, is now buying churches and converting them into mosques.
So know this, that Islam will enter every house. Every house. Don't worry about the Islamophobes. They can yap all they want. Their children will be Muslim.
Yeah, yeah, so anyway, moving on. We understand, oh, Nux, you're Islamophobic for telling me that you don't like when Muslims rape you. Yeah. Anyway, so Denver is now fighting back against the rape epidemic that comes with migrants. And by posting "Don't Rape" on Instagram. That's right. That's right. That's the leftists these days, you know. They used to be anti-rape and now they're pro-rape, but they can't say it out loud, so they have to say "Don't rape" with a little green box. Don't rape. Which is weird because they wrote it in English. Anyway, so the White House released this report, and the AP press, all right, leftist media, decided to blast them for it. You know, in Mexico, hundreds of migrants, most of them from Haiti, left the southern Mexican city of Tapachula on foot Tuesday, seeking better living conditions elsewhere in Mexico. Migrant caravans like the ones that left Tapachula used to aim for the U.S. border, but many of the migrants leaving Tapachula on Tuesday said they'd lost hope. of making it into the U.S. due to restrictions that the Trump administration placed on asylum seekers. That's the fucking point, all right? And this is literally the bullshit we have to deal with, all right? It's like, Haiti's a shithole. Every Democrat, Haiti's amazing. Haiti's the best place ever. We love Haiti. Make Haiti. Haiti's awesome. Haiti's the best, right? And then it's like, all right, we're going to deport you to Haiti. You can't deport them to Haiti. They eat people there. You can't deport them to Haiti. They're backward savages. Yeah, all right, great. Let's bring them here, I guess. So yeah, that is the point, actually. W. Other news, because this is just, I just have to show you leftist policy. This is just leftist policy hour. Just full-ass racism hour. This is brutal. Transgender Utah woman and her lover accused of abducting her 10-year-old and taking the child to Cuba to have sex change surgery. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. This is the thing that doesn't happen, right? This is the thing that never happens. Well, it keeps happening. The thing that never happens seems to be happening a lot these days. It's crazy. And, you know, honestly, people are just really tired of the leftoid bullshitting. All right, so this lady went super viral, and everyone called her out on it, as they should have, because literally, it's incredible.
Oh God, I was gonna look at this. This is really fucking embarrassing. So this woman here, mountain farm owner, struggles to find workers as immigration enforcement tightens.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany. Hire Americans, and you will have no issue. Like, I really want to hire slaves from Mexico that literally have to work from dawn till dusk, or I'll just get them deported. Man, I really want to have slaves to pay slave wages to. And now because of those evil Republicans that are deporting the rapists, I can't even have slaves anymore. This is literally the leftist policy. Leftist policy is pro-slavery. It always has been. It still is. All right, they're modern-day slaves. They're just illegal migrants that they can pay in cash, that they can underpay, that they can force them to work as hard as they want, that there's literally zero checks and balances, because what are they going to do? Sue you? They're illegal in the country. They can't fucking sue you for shit, okay? All right, so they're trying to institute slavery. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So watching them crash out is amazing.
Gotts owns Quay's farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
It's really hard to find non-slaves to work as hard as the slaves. Man, leftists are incredible, aren't they? They really are. They have zero ethical systems whatsoever. They just talk out of their ass.
Being a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant.
An illegal immigrant. All right, legal immigrants are Americans, and they're not getting deported by ICE. So this lady's like, man, Trump has made it so difficult. Here I am trying to hire people to work as hard as slaves, and they don't want to.
It's nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had...
And then I was like, I want you to work dawn till dusk, live in the fucking barn, and literally not get paid. We'll pay you in oats, all right? You'll get to eat as many oats as you want. We'll pay you in oats, you'll live in the barn, all right? And you'll work dawn till dusk. And they're like, no, actually, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, damn it. The Mexicans used to do that.
No people respond.
Yeah. We're going to find out how. We're going to find out why.
Gott says the increase in immigration enforcement has made it harder to find migrant workers.
Just for context.
Illegal alien workers.
This is all about illegal migrant workers. For some reason, the host and the farmer just refuse to say it.
It's heartbreaking because they are living...
We all know why. It's because that's the propaganda. All right, anyone that says migrants are in trouble, like Zoran Mamdani in New York does this all the time. Every migrant deserves to have free childcare no matter what your documentation status is. All right, so what you're basically saying is that you want to rape the people of New York, take their money, and give it to people that should not be in this country at all. Got it. All right, but they don't want to say that out loud, obviously, because it's fraud.
Fear here, an employee living in fear, and I don't blame them. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm...
Why would they get picked up? Oh, you mean because they're illegal in the country?
Running, Gotts is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program, which allows temporary agricultural workers into the U.S.
This year, I have endeavored to spend $200,000.
Oh, I had to do it legally.
To build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers.
Wow. They used to sleep in the barns. I used to have like one stall for the horse and then one stall for the Mexicans. And now I have to give them beds and shit. Oh, Trump. Trump being immoral.
Next year,
You're buying a little slave shack for him. Oh, that's cute.
we love our workers. They're a family. And they want to work. And they will work hard. And there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed
Our
them.
government failed them. Our government needs to give them infinite resources so then they can become my slaves.
So she's trying to literally hire indentured servants.
True.
She wants them to live on the farm and work 16 hours a day and do it for essentially slave wages.
True.
Anyway, people found the job listing. So take a look at this. Ranch hand needed. This is the salary. $2,600 to $3,000 a month.
By the way, as people pointed out, this is for 60 to 70 hours work weeks on
Oh, that's brutal.
average. That's why they say the salary is monthly and hours expected are not listed. This is potentially less than $10 an hour of very hard labor.
Experience 2 to 5 years. Looking for a competent ranch hand for 4,000 acres. Position is full-time, permanent, free housing. Oh yeah, you get to live inside of their little shack.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing. So
You said small twice.
Really, you got something like this right here. She wants slaves, yeah. She said small twice.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
Can't believe no one wanted to be your slave in a free country like this. That's crazy. Well, the good news is, at least God bless. At least you have illegals from Haiti that can eat your cats if you have too many of them. Now, if you thought these dipshits were crying about migrants before, oh my god, it gets so much worse. Like, you have leftoids being like, man, I want my slaves, and then you got the migrants making believe that they're actually, like, benefiting every single area just by existing.
First,
This is a very controversial clip on the internet right now.
I saw this. It had 31 million views. Wow. Oh my god.
Every child.
The first Nigerian to play chess at the Louvre, the world's most prestigious museum.
Deserves.
Look at this guy. Look at his fucking Piccolo-ass cosplay.
The first Nigerian to play chess at the Louvre, the world's most prestigious museum.
Wow.
Every child deserves a fair chance at greatness.
He's playing against himself. Right? He's not like a chess master or anything. Okay? He's not like some famous guy. Alright? He's not famous. He's not invited there. He wasn't invited by a chess tournament. He's just some random fucking guy who cosplayed as Nigerian Piccolo and played chess against himself. This is unbelievable, dude.
Not because of where they come from, but by the dream they carry in their heart.
Like, are we being serious, dude?
Wow.
This is absolute brutality, bro. Man, this music is gonna get me copyrighted for some fucking... Bro speaks in bells and whistles and I'm gonna get copyrighted. Look at him playing chess against himself at the Louvre. Wow. He even took a plane.
I'm from Lagos, Nigeria.
Wow, look at him. Dripped out. Unreal. African Piccolo playing chess against himself. Look how pathetic this is, man. Look how pathetic this is, bro. And everyone's like, whoa. Wow, dude, that's amazing. Wow, look at that. He's playing chess against himself. Directed by whoever the fuck.
Like, he's not ranked anywhere as a chess player. It's just a random guy. Like, and again, this is pure marketing. This is a guy that put he spent all of his money on his outfit. It's like whenever you're leveling in a new expansion in WoW, somebody's not even max level, but they have all of their gear transmogged. But like, you look at them on the damage meter and they're like number 17th under 2 tanks, right? Some black dude turned up to a public museum dressed like...
and played chess against himself, and other Nigerians are congratulating him in the comments.
Yo! And the other Nigerians are like, yo, this is beautiful. My God, dude, we can't, bro. We can't. Giving internet to the third world was a mistake, bro.
And so, no disrespect, but why is everyone congratulating him for playing chess at a public museum? Again, wow, he was invited to the Louvre? No, he just went on his own and stood outside. But he was there for a chess tournament. No, there was no chess tournament. But surely he's a great and noted chess player. No, he doesn't even rank in the top 25 in Nigeria.
And that's rough, buddy. And that's rough, because I'd probably be in the top 25 in Nigeria.
I think it's just it's how ridiculous it is that somebody is like this first Nigerian to play chess at the Louvre. He's not even playing it against anybody else, right? He's just playing chess by himself. You think he cured cancer, but it's just a black guy that knows about chess. I guess so. And wow, they set the bar so low for Africa. Jesus Christ,
That's insane, man. It's like it's so brutal. The bar is in hell. The bar is in hell, bro.
We flex a lot of meaningless things. Yeah, it is a little meaningless, right? But
completely meaningless. And the entire third world is like, wow, this guy is incredible. He's pushing boundaries. Like, oh my God, dude. Like this culture is like, they need to figure out how to build houses and stop living in shacks before we import them by the million into our country, where they could then vote to take away our rights and our money and give it to them instead, so that they could fund Tunde Onakoya to fucking go play chess against himself at the Louvre. I have a feeling, and this is just a suspicion, that there was not one guy named Tunde Onakoya that fucking came in on the Mayflower, okay? There was not a guy named Tunde Onakoya who fought at any point in the Revolution, in the Civil War, in American history. I do not think we need 1 million Tunde Onakoyas coming in to Virginia in order to flip some seats from red to blue. I'm sure your culture is glorious, Tunde. I think you should focus on making Nigeria great again. And I know I'm going to get pushed back in the comments. What do you mean again? Well, when it was a colony of England, it was pretty good. Now, dude, it's gotten so much worse. I'm going to radicalize you with this video, I decided. I decided this video will radicalize you. That's what my channel is now. Oh my God, Nux is radicalizing. Some guy made a 2-hour-long video talking about how watching my videos is more likely to make you a school shooter. I disagree. My videos are intended to radicalize you, but not exactly in that direction. I am so obviously against violence in like all of its forms, unless it's blowing up terrorists across the world that are trying to kill us, obviously. Aside from that, I mean, I am very anti-violence, right? If you want violence, you should be watching a leftist. I'm just talking about the orcs, how they invaded the Shire, and how we need to remove them. You know, simply with peace and love. Loading them into trebuchets and flinging them across the sea. Anyway, so I just want to show you a little video of how they destroy everything. All right, so you might think this is racist about how this random migrant guy decided to just go and ruin this guy's random field. You know, he goes, nice little front yard. He goes and he just destroys it for no reason, because why not? It's there and it's not his, but he destroys it anyway. Now, this video will radicalize you. I told you in advance, and I'm going to show you the leftoids crashing out, and I'm going to show you the UK falling apart, because that's one of my favorite story arcs these days. Favorite as in a Greek tragedy. So I want to show you a very culturally enriching video. I want to show you, this is in the UK. I want to show you a video of a guy who made the UK a better place. It's beautiful. Keep your eyes on this fellow over here. This clearly native British fellow. As he stands there with his feet, asking these people for money. They refuse to give it to him. And England is a little better now. Anyway, oh my God. The question is he an engineer or is he a doctor? No one will know. It's like, bro, me, when Mohammed promised me both sheep and goats, thank you, Allah. Anyway, so, anywho, for those of you unaware, this is a nice video. I will not describe what's going on, but I don't think that he should be coming into our countries, by my opinion. My opinion is simple. Terrorist who plotted to bomb London Stock Exchange was allowed to stay in Britain on human rights grounds. Stay in Britain. He's probably going to be running for government sometime soon. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Bro, the Europeans are so cucked. It's unbelievable. The Europeans are castrated people. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure that a lot of you guys are based and awesome and trying to get your countries back. But holy shit. Oh, my God. Thanks to the Europeans, the blue whale's vagina is the second biggest pussy on the planet. This is unbelievable. It really is. All right, so I just felt like I needed to show you this clip. This is Meat Canyon. He's a liberal guy in general. Funny dude. Friend of mine, actually, sort of. I don't know him that well, but we've interacted a few times. And I have to call him out for this shit immediately.
Coachella is simply not as glamorous as you'd think.
That's right. Coachella is a shithole. Shit show. We agree.
Especially if you've had no experience with festivals and how gross they can get. How can you blame people for being surprised by this realization when every aspect of social media is telling them that Coachella is the perfect Oasis getaway? Also, to me, it's similar to fucking Paris syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese people going to Paris and they kill themselves because they're like, This is France is disgusting. Who would have?
Yeah, France is disgusting. Now, why do you think France is disgusting? Because the Japanese people go to France, it's like France is disgusting. Now, why do you think that is?
Thought French people are gross.
Because of the French people. Now, listen, I make fun of French people more than most people because they deserve it. I mean, they speak French, which is obviously an issue. Now, Yosef Mahmoudia over here had a lot to say about French people. Now, just to like understand what we're doing here, no, it's not the French people that ruined Paris. Paris used to be beautiful. It used to be the city of love. It used to be actually gorgeous. You want to know what ruined Paris? Yeah. This would traumatize the shit out of me if I went there too. All right? You want to know why Paris is a shithole right now? That's why Paris is a shithole right now. All right? Now listen. As much as I think we should be making fun of French people, this one's not on them. Now, the funniest thing is, you'll see like liberal streamers and YouTubers, they'll be like, oh, French, it's full of French people. That's why it's a shithole. No, obviously it's a shithole. It's full of French people. Oh my God. They would never say that about Africa. Africa's a shithole because it's full of Africans. Can you even imagine these people saying that? Like, could you even imagine them saying? I can't even imagine. It's not even like a possibility. All right. Dr. Strange looking through possible futures. He wouldn't even consider a liberal streamer saying Africa's a shithole because of the Africans. There is such an unbelievable cope going on in the world that you are allowed to criticize some and not others, and it's just getting worse there, man. Breaking: Hungary violated the EU law when it banned children from accessing LGBTQ content. The Court of Justice of the EU has ruled. All right, so the Court of Justice of the EU, which is dead silence when they have infinite rapists in their countries, all right, are super mad at Hungary because they're not letting the children watch gay sex. And that's obviously very important. If the children aren't watching sodomy, how will they know how to sodomize their friends? Now, a very incredible point over here made by the CEO of Telegram saying, so the EU wants to ban teens from social media, except for LGBTQ content. What a nuanced way to protect children online. So true. So true. It's like, we have to ban all children from social media because social media is dangerous. Except we have to make sure they watch as much gay sex as they possibly can. This will improve their quality of life tremendously. All right, this is breaking news from England. Child rapist, 24, who was deported but illegally returned to Britain, is recaptured after trying to claim benefits. Do you understand the levels of retardation that are going on, that a headline could even exist? You have a pedophile that's deported, all right? Convicted pedophile, deported, all right? And then he returns, his name is probably Mohammed, statistically. Bro, comes back in illegally, goes to get the free shit that the government gives the illegals, and they're like, wait a second, isn't he that nonce? And that's literally what you have to deal with in England. All right, so this is in Cork. Pretty good stuff, honestly. A man has finally been charged for knocking out an Irish woman who was out on town with her friends on a Saturday night. Look at that guy.
He lifts his elbow and hits
Look at this dude just wandering there.
In the head,
bam,
knocking
just
her unconscious.
Randomly knocks out a random Irish lady. This man's name is Abdelia Hambouli. Sounds like an Irishman to me. He was immediately released on bail. What are we doing? Oh my God, the most castrated society of all time. Now, there's a major reason why I'm showing this to you, man, and it's because liberal policies are cancer. Old Testament justice is based, actually, all right? When our book was given to us, written by the prophets in the name of God, and they decided, yeah, actually, we need to fucking kill people that murder people. We need to take thieves and force them into indentured servitude. All right, we need to actually protect our countries and our borders and obliterate our enemies. It's actually right and based, actually. And this lib-cuck, fake bullshit ethical system just doesn't exist or work. All right, and they're trying to do this here too. All right, so get a load of this one. This one's awesome. So there's a new hoax, a new controversy going on in England. There was a Telegraph investigation, and guess what they had discovered? You won't believe it.
A Telegraph investigation has found that landlords are illegally advertising for Muslim-only tenants.
Could you imagine if they were doing it for white-only tenants? Could you even imagine if you had people like saying, hey, we'd like to rent out our apartment to whites only, whites only. Could you even imagine the absolute outcry? Like, unbelievable, bro. Oi, mate, you got a license for that opinion. All right, but this is fine.
Our investigation has found literally hundreds of listings on social media sites suggesting that only Muslim tenants must apply. This is, of course, in contravention.
Yeah, it's a contravention of the Equality Act, obviously, but also it's conquest. Also, they're obviously conquering your nation.
Of the Equalities Act 2010, which states that landlords cannot discriminate against tenants according to their religion. The ads were listed on 3 websites, Facebook, Telegram and Gumtree. We approached all 3 companies, but only Facebook got back to us to say that they had taken down a page that featured dozens of Muslim-only adverts.
Nice. They took down a page.
Have a listen to this. This is my colleague trying to get in touch with one of the landlords advertising a Muslim-only property.
I saw on it though it said it's available for a Muslim boy or Muslim girl. I'm not a Muslim. Would I still be able to rent it at all, please? Is there just anything I could reasonably say or do as a non-Muslim in which you'd rent this to me?
No, I couldn't do that.
And
nope, can't do that. Absolute silence. The Muslims are inclusive. They're non-racist. They love our cultures. They're so welcoming. They've integrated into British society so well. To quote Keir Starmer, British values are Muslim values.
And yet, hundreds of these listings continue to be posted on social media advertising properties.
Isn't that incredible? I think that's incredible. It's just so obvious that it's conquest. And it's so obvious that your laws just don't apply to them. You know, they'll scream and yell about racism and Islamophobia, and then they'll like do these Muslim-only listings and get protection and free money from the government. All right, so this is the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, Muslim. And this is pretty suspicious. All right, in recent weeks, Jewish charities, businesses, and places of worship have been targeted in a shameful anti-Semitic attacks. Technically true. Yes, they have been firebombing Jewish, you know, first aid services, Jewish charities, Jewish businesses, Jewish synagogues. Yeah, true. Jewish Londoners must be able to live their lives free of fear and harassment, intimidation, or violence. The fact that they cannot do it is utterly unacceptable. I remain in close contact with the Met Police, who stepped up a resource to protect our Jewish communities, but I urge all Londoners to stand against anti-Semitism and check in with Jewish friends, neighbours and colleagues. Our city is at its best when we look for each other and unite against those who seek to divide us. 120 likes. This is the mayor of London. He got 100 likes on a tweet. It's just unbelievable. And it's like, kill Jews. Peaceful protesters. Firebombing a synagogue. Oh no, what could have possibly incited such tensions? It's like, all right, dude. All right, bro. Like, it's crazy watching this. It's like, it's unreal. It's actually unreal. It's crazy, my guy. It's like, let's literally import wolves into our flock of sheep and make one of the wolves the mayor. All right, and that's what's happening. Jewish communities firebombed, white girls raped. Mayor of London combating Islamophobia one day at a time. Just in, the UK officially approves lifetime smoking ban for anyone born after 2008. So that's pretty crazy. Wow. Not allowed to smoke after 2008. So I actually don't really like the idea of governments shutting down your liberties, even though I am pretty anti-smoking in general. I am. It's unhealthy, and I think that it says in the Bible, you know, protect your life. So I am personally against stuff like that. But the real heartbreak is you can't even have a smoke after being gang raped by third world savages. Shaking my head. Heartbreaking, man. It's so sad. Unreal. Imagine. You just got gang raped by some third world migrants. You want to smoke. Can't even do that. Nothing in England. You know, you can't have anything there in England. Now, anyway, so there's a tiny English village called Shrubland Park in Suffolk. It's a nice little tiny village with an approximate 1,500 people living there, I think, right? Yeah, a population of 1,500. Well, guess what? Inshallah, they imported 100,000 Muslims into this tiny community of 1,500 people.
Alhamdulillah, my dear respected brothers and my dear respected elders. This noble work of da'wah and tabligh,
this noble work of propaganda,
given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His blessed messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, finds a new sanctuary in this beautiful 300-acre shrubland palace.
Wow.
As we prepare for this ijtima, due to be held on the 10th, 11th and the 12th of this year, July 2026. We are honored and we anticipate.
Man, I'm sure that that community of 1,500 people are going to be really happy when 100,000 of these guys show up.
The arrival of our respected world Amir Sheikh Saad Hafidahullah, whose arrival will be a beacon of guidance.
A beacon of guidance to conquer England. We got it. Anyway, 100,000 Muslims set to descend on tiny English village. It sounds like Vikings invading Northumbria, okay? But, like, it's honestly insane. This is like a normal daily occurrence these days, it seems, right? So, you know, you wake up, get raped, go to sleep, wake up, and they'll find another way to rape you. It's pretty insane if you think about it. And I'm not saying all Muslims are rapists, of course, but these 1,500 people just had their lives ruined. You know, they're in this little village that existed there for probably hundreds of years. Their ancestors probably built this little village. All right, and this village is over. All right, these 1,500 people, their entire heritage, their culture, it's gone now. It's over. It's officially been completely dismantled. And apparently that's just okay. And you're a bigot if you think it's not. Now, if you look at how the political parties in the UK are actually advertising for May elections, it's insane, right? So these are the different political parties, right? You should vote for Akhtar Kashia, independent, or you could vote for Aziz Daji, independent, or you could vote for Habiban Zaman, independent, or you could vote for any of these guys, but Shaikh or Wasim. You can vote. You have so many options, so many good options of people to represent you and your interests. Isn't that beautiful? My God, it's truly shocking that this is happening. And you're a racist if you think it's a problem. Wild shit. It really is. It's unbelievable. So just to show you how fucked the UK actually is, right? So there, in my opinion, has been a massive, massive betrayal done by politicians onto the people. I think that everyone kind of agrees at this point. The way, you know, your culture has been sold out to get gang raped by savages. Essentially, I think it's all orchestrated because for the most part, whenever you have these elections, you can either vote left, which is pro-migration, or right, which is anti-migration. And then you get the right-wing guy, and he's just pro-migration. It's like you vote for the anti-migrant party, you actually win, and then they import more migrants. And then the migrants vote, and then they vote for the pro-migrant party, and then you get even more migrants. That's just kind of how it seems like it works in European elections. Even Meloni from Italy, who's supposed to be some based, cool, epic anti-immigration woman, that was the red flag we should have noticed from the very beginning, is now pro-migration. Right? She was considered far right before her election. She won her election, and she's giving amnesty to tens of thousands of illegals. So I think that so many people are playing into this gigantic psyop where they think they're voting for something, but all their votes are going to the same dickwads that are controlled by this global cabal. So there is a right-wing party in England called Reform, and Reform seems like it's controlled opposition. It's supposed to be a sponge for right-wing votes, and even if they do win, they'll do absolutely nothing about the migrant invasion, which is why a new party started called Restore, which they're calling the far-right party, and hopefully honestly wins.
Nigel Farage has a melty about Rupert Lowe.
So to understand the lore here, Nigel Farage is in charge of the Reform Party. In my opinion, the controlled opposition party, they're supposedly right-wing, but they're still going to be giving amnesty to migrants. And then you got Rupert Lowe, who's starting off running for the Restore Party, which is not affiliated to these globalist hegemon billionaires. And it seems like that party actually does want to deport the retards. So Nigel Farage, in part of the PSYOP right-wing party, is really mad at the actual right-wing party.
Really? Oh no. Nigel Farage says X is becoming a dangerous place.
Anyone that says X is a dangerous place just hates freedom of speech and wants to control you.
That the online abuse on X that our minority candidates are receiving is utterly appalling in every way. It really, really is bad. X is now becoming a very unpleasant and very dangerous place.
So turn off your computer. It's like, I love when people are like this. I love when people are like, X is incredibly dangerous. All right, so turn off your phone. You are suddenly out of danger. It's like, well, wow, what an innovative solution.
I think that using the word dangerous because somebody's racist on Twitter is retarded.
Hi, my name is Bassey Williams. I am one of the 3 Reform candidates in.
That's right, Reform. This is the right-wing, in my opinion, PSYOP party. So this is the PSYOP right-wing party, and this is one of their candidates. You're telling me that they are going to fight for the native English ethnic group? Are you serious?
For HEGSETH reward. Please, on May the 7th.
Of course they're mad about this. She can't even fucking speak English. What the fuck's she doing trying to run for office in Britain? What are we doing? Do I have to be
Okay, all right. That's not a question. You have literal convicted terrorists running for office in Britain, but she's running for the right-wing party. People don't realize how bad the PSYOP is, right? They give you the illusion of choice so you could feel like you could still vote your way out of this mess. And then by the time you realize that you just voted for another one of these global cabals, right, you realize you're absolutely fucked. And that's crazy. So in my opinion, that's the real danger here. The people that think they're voting for a moderate right-wing party when in reality they're just voting for more leftoids and gang rapists. Now, I've explained it before, and I will explain it again. My stance is here, all right? So if this is the political spectrum, all right, and this is the center, okay, and this is the left, and this is the right, all right? In Europe, this is how elections work. Well, you could either vote for the left-wing candidate, which is over here, or you could vote for the right-wing candidate, which is over here. Whatever you fucking do, you're getting infinite migrants, bajillions of rapes, and no way out. And then the next election is going to be even harder because if this guy wins, you get another 1 million illegal aliens that got amnesty that could vote in elections. And if this guy wins, you only get 500K illegal aliens that vote for next elections, and you're just fucked either way. And this is what happened in Italy. So the reality is you're just giga screwed, and the PSYOP is being like, you should vote for the right-wing candidate. Vote for the right-wing candidate, bro. He's so right-wing. He's reform. He's right-wing. He cares about your values. He cares. He makes sure that the rapists lube before they rape you.
The one to say it? I feel like I'm taking crazy, dog.
Remember to vote for all the reform candidates, 3 of us.
I think they're trolling us now. Exactly. So this is the candidate Mohammed Sharia. Like, I mean, this
J.K. Rowling ass named character.
This is like the name that Kojima would give a candidate in the UK. Like, this is like a J.K. Rowling Kojima name. Mohammed
True. This is like the actual J.K. Rowling name candidate.
Sharia. So these are the candidates? Let's see.
And this is reform. This is the right-wing party. That's why I wanted to cover this, because I feel like people aren't willing to engage with the fact that you are being psyoped. And that is how the left wins. The left wins via the infinite psyop, because their actual value system is based on spit on duct tape. It has nothing to it. That's why they have to emotionally manipulate you and gaslight you and groom you and your children through infinite propaganda. And then even when you think you're actually finally voting for the right-wing party, you're voting for fucking Mohammed Sharia.
It's not very reform. Yeah, I feel like it's not really. So Rupert Lowe made a comment about it. Farage can't hide behind pathetic accusations of racism to defend his choice to stand with a Bangladeshi migrant in Portsmouth. I'm sure Adi Azul.
Oh my god!
Is that even a real? Like, I'm gonna be real. I don't even know if this is a real name or not. Did he just make up a name of like Israel? I don't know.
Bro just fucking vomited on his keyboard, and people are just like, yeah, I believe it. Mr. Oinkalone is here from,
I'm sure Adi Azumeri is a great bloke, and I wish him well in his election, if that election is in Bangladesh. British elections for British people.
It's a political impossibility to deport hundreds of thousands of people. We simply can't do it. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose.
Unbelievable.
Bro, it's just such a crazy admission. It's like we have to pander to Islam to get the votes. You really think that's going to be your base right-winger that's going to save your country? That's why I think it's all a psyop. It's all a psyop to import more Muslims. It's crazy how obvious it is if you actually pay attention. That's why I wanted to cover this.
Diversity. So this is the diversity of
the Restore Britain Party, and it's all just white guys.
The Restore Britain Party. Nobody in Restore Britain gives a shit.
Cinema.
Oh my god. Yeah, there it is. I have no interest in tolerating cultures that wouldn't afford us the same respect. If you're a foreigner in our country and you treat women like dirt, you hate the British way of life, you can't even speak our language, refuse to pay your way, and make no effort to adapt to our society, a Restore Britain government will deport you.
Yes.
You change your ways to fit us, not the other way around. If I lived in a Muslim country, I wouldn't expect them to alter their culture to accommodate me. Of course not. So let's stop bending over backwards to tolerate the intolerable. This is
especially because they make sure you bend over frontwards.
Britain, we do things our way, the British way, proudly, unapologetically, and without compromise. This is, by the way, like his messaging about this is perfect.
Yeah.
And the low thing, it's one angry man.
It's a lot of angry men.
Saying stuff on the internet. Look.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants. He doesn't marry me.
There's a lot of people that agree with him. That's the problem. Farage is the definition of controlled opposition.
And Elon Musk fucking gets it, man. He gets it. It's a leftist psyop. All right, you think you're voting for the right-wing candidate, and you just get more Muslims. like, let's be honest.
Then this is, of course, Restore Britain. So they're crashing out over some people being racist about, like, the candidates. I think that it's very easy to acknowledge that when you have people that are not ethnically or culturally from Britain that are trying to run for a conservative party, then I think you've got a big problem. People see that. They read some...
Look, man, I do believe that some people can actually assimilate into other cultures, right? I'm not like one of these guys that like believes in like the ethnic enclaves to an infinite degree. Some people do actually assimilate. That is a fact. Now, the majority of specific cultures, mostly from the third world, do not assimilate, especially if their religion literally tells them to conquer other nations. They're probably not going to be the type of guy that's going to be subservient and try to make your nation great. That said, the number one trying issue to the United Kingdom is the fact that their entire country is getting raped by migrants. I would not want to sit here and be like, we have to pander to the migrants for votes. I said this before and I'll say it again. Discrimination is based, actually. All right? You exist through discrimination. You discriminate through your daily life. You discriminate when you decide what foods to eat and what foods not to eat. You discriminate whether you want to cross the street because you think something's dangerous or not. And the reality is discrimination is fucking awesome. It is a pivotal skill that every single human being has. So yes, I am going to discriminate and be like, I don't think Reform Britain actually gives a shit about the native English population when it seems like they just exist to pander to people that they're importing to replace the native British population. I'm just trying to be upfront with you guys. Now, I think Reform saying, oh, you know, deportations, it's not really a thing that we could do. Yeah, you're probably a giant psyop.
Somebody's name like that, and they say, this isn't somebody who's British. And you would easily say something like that about somebody in Japan or China or anywhere else. But for some reason, this is a big...
Especially because I think that for the most part, and by for the most part, I mean like every single time, I believe that you should not be having foreigners holding office in your countries. Again, I'm not sitting here to try to push my influence on British politics. I'm just some blue retard on the internet. I care about America first and foremost. But I do think that Britain is a solemn warning as to exactly down what road America is headed if we just let unfettered immigration take us over. Also, I like England. I want you guys to survive. I don't like watching you guys get raped into oblivion. I think your culture is very similar to ours in many ways. I think America, it's kind of an offshoot of England. Now we're way better, and England is kind of gay. But I'm rooting and praying for you guys. I really am. And I mean, look, man, this video that I'm making right now, if you were posting this video from England, you'd go to jail. Or you got a license for those opinions. So, you know, I'm just trying to help, man.
Problem that white countries have. In my opinion, I think people should be able to decide who rules over them for better or for worse. And if they want to vote based off of something that you think is racist, then that's too fucking bad.
True.
Too bad. That's the way it is.
Yeah, true. Honestly, democracy is kind of a scam these days. I don't know if you heard the news. So whether it's Democrats leaking information to Iran like they were caught doing today, Democrats funding right-wing hate groups like they were exposed for doing today, Democrats voting to basically eliminate the rights of Republicans in Virginia, there's a massive psyop going on across the world that fucking hates us and hates our culture. Now, I could get into like the details and my game theory as to why this is happening, but on a spiritual level, our culture is based on biblical values. And, you know, Satan really doesn't like that. So all the homosexuals, well, for some reason, they really don't like our culture either. Anyway, that was today's deep dive on all of the things. I dived. I covered all of the things tremendously for the angle that we needed to do. I told you I wouldn't cover it in a gay way. Man, I really decided to kick my my career in overdrive here. I really put in so much time and effort into like every single one of these videos. I'm sure you could see I basically had like 4 bajillion tabs open on my computer frying and dying in real time as I'm trying to do the research for this shit. and verify the information. But honestly, I feel like it's just something super important. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, there really aren't any right-wing grifters, because if you start being so-called a right-wing grifter, they'll just deplatform you. They'll just remove your money forever. They'll debank you. They'll deplatform you. They'll deperson you. They'll threaten to kill you. All right, left-wing grifters are everywhere. So I don't know, man. I took a risk here, trying to make sure that my content can be as authentic as possible. And, you know, praise God, I'm really glad people like it and enjoy it. And I really appreciate your support. So anyway, that was today's deep dive on all the things. Definitely subscribe, share the blue retard to all of your friends. Everyone needs to hear it, whether they like it or not. And stay safe out there, man. They want you dead. Sorry, but they kind of do.